It's time for us to get whipped into shape with a killer workout. We watched Aerobicide, aka Killer Workout, a movie that features the worst slasher weapon of all time and more spandex than the entire Marvel Universe in the 80s. We watch it so you don't have to, so you know what time it is. What's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. With me, as always, my buddy, my co-host, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron, how are you doing this evening?
Man, I'm good. It's the first day of fall, isn't it?
It is, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the first.
It just might be the first
day of fall, so
which is prime time for us.
Yeah, this is
fall, Halloween, right around the corner.
Super duper stoked about
my favorite time
that.
of the year.
Right, so I'm doing good.
But you know what the fall means? You know, summer's over, and you know, you would normally need, this is when you start putting on the weight, but you know what? Fuck that. You need to get the weight off, and so there's no better way to do that than with this new killer workout, which we're doing today. And
we kind of need someone to help us.
We do need someone to help us.
Because I'm not motivated.
I'm not motivated. So we went out and got the best person we knew possible. You know her, you love her, Miss Double S, Miss S Squared, the first lady of Horrible Horror, Miss Sarah Samples. She's back. Hello, Sarah.
I feel like I should, I don't know, sing a song or jump up and down.
Like your pyro
Maybe
goes
I
off.
should boom.
When you get Sarah her own like intro theme.
Yeah, an intro theme.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, after this movie, it might be one of these songs in this movie.
It very well maybe.
But we had to bring Sarah back for this one because she also sat in with us on the on a Death Spa episode.
Death Spa.
So,
yeah, because you have a history of being a aerobics, not aerobics instructor, but like
I was an aerobics instructor, a fitness instructor, and I have worked for the Y and done a bunch of.
So she's our expert for this movie.
Fitness things and
she's our resident expert on this all things.
I love the idea of Sarah doing the aerobicized.
Oh, I don't know.
In this,
I don't know how
movie.
I feel about that.
I know.
I'm kind of no. I mean, thanks. I'll take this compliment. I'll take it.
All right, yeah. So we did Killer Workout, aka Aerobicide, another 2-title movie. This movie, before we get into it, first let's plug all of our bullshit, get that right out of the way. Yeah, this is Aaron's ditty. Aaron, do your thing.
Of course, man. You can find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, find us on Twitter @SoBadIt'sScary. Again, our Twitter handle is @SoBadIt'sScary. And of course, you can find us on our website, HorribleHorrorPodcast.com. That is HorribleHorrorPodcast.com. That's where you can stream our episodes. You can check out our merch. You can find some of our archives, our Hall of Fame. So it's a fun little site we put together as well. But I mentioned you can stream from there, but you can also stream from iTunes, Google Play, from Speaker.com, iHeartRadio, and I feel like I'm missing one more unit. But for the most part, you can find us.
I know, Podbean,
You're
iTunes.
really
Podbean,
easy
that's
to
it.
find. You're
Podbean.
so easy to find.
And speaking of our site, you can also go on there and
we're easy.
If you feel so inclined, you can get a little Horrible Horror T-shirt for yourself off the website as well.
You know what? I'm also drinking this cold beer out of a particular device.
Oh, yes. Our beer koozies.
As am I.
Yeah.
Our Horrible Horror dual-sided beer koozies.
Yes, we have the first generation art and the second generation
Yeah,
art.
we have 2 different varieties.
Yeah, but we need to get those up on our merch. Coming soon.
Coming soon. I've been saying that for like a month now.
But like poking Marshall over here. Coming soon.
Yeah, having a 2-year-old kind of makes things a little harder to get things done. But yes, anyway, that's all. That's all great. This movie, good job, Aaron.
All right.
This movie was released on April 16th of 1987. Written and directed by David A. Pryor, and you can find this gem of a movie on Amazon right now. It's a free watch if you have the Prime account.
Yes, thank God.
I have watched this movie so many times this last week. It's ridiculous.
I did too. But only because I kept falling asleep, and so I had to keep restarting it.
That's not a good
spoiler
endorsement of the movie.
Spoiler.
It was great. I was sleepy, I guess. I don't.
Let's talk about the cast real quick. Our lead lady is Marsha Carr, she plays Rhonda, the main character. She's got 13 credits, including Maniac Cop, Sex Appeal. She was in Real Genius. Then it's a movie called Savage Streets, Hard Bodies, and Chain Heat.
She was in Real Genius with Val Kilmer?
Apparently.
Wow.
And then we have David Campbell playing Detective Morgan. He's got 29 credits, but ain't shit worth talking about. I'm only going to mention two more people. Chuck is played by Ted Pryor, who is the director's brother in this. So there's a little nepotism going on here. And Jamie, the aerobics teacher, is played by Teresa Vanderwood. She's only got 6 credits, a bunch of shit I've never heard of. But her little fun fact is that she won the Miss San Bernardino beauty pageant in 1982.
San Bernardino.
She looked really familiar, but I looked her
I
up.
don't know. I did too. I was like, I've seen her, but nope. She's
nothing.
It's just that 80s.
You guys are going to
80s.
hate me, and I'm going to say it now. She had a Kim Cattrall look.
Yes!
She had a Kim Cattrall look.
I hate you for that, but that's probably what it was.
But that's funny because I read your mind.
Yeah, well, what was the movie we all did where I was like, oh yeah, it's Kim Cattrall. And
It was Despa.
It was Despa. And I'm like, oh my god, Kim Cattrall's in. And you're like, it's not Kim Cattrall.
Like, that's not Kim Cattrall. No.
Oh yeah, I do remember that now. So now I know why you say. I know. Like, okay,
Kind of looks
that
a
makes
little
sense.
bit like.
She does look a little bit like Kim Cattrall.
I would give you that. It does. Yeah, she has a very kind of Kim Cattrall, Big Trouble in Little China area look to her.
Right. Like mannequin.
Yeah. That's a good. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Again, everyone emanated everyone else in the 80s. Like women's style. It was like everyone was Madonna. Then everybody
If
was
you're
like
a blonde,
a Kim
you kind of went more Madonna.
Yeah.
If you're redhead, maybe you went more Kim Cattrall.
I don't know.
Maybe if you're a punker, you went more Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
So
Oh, the 80s. Yay.
So let's jump into this movie. We just get our leg warmers on and crank it up.
Dude, I need my high heels and spandex.
Oh, you especially have to have high heels to be able to go to this gym.
Like zip up. Special athletic high heels.
Oh, yes.
Hand me a beer, would you?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'm going to need a few of them for this one.
All right, so we open. Okay, first of all, let's knock this out. This is going to be a music-heavy episode. The music in this movie is ridiculous.
I almost felt like it was half musical in a way.
Yeah.
Or music video.
Yeah, music video. Yeah, that's kind of a really good way to put it.
I'm not sad about that.
The music's insane. It's
I
awesome.
read that the music was created just for this movie.
Oh, I'm sure it
you can
was.
tell.
I read that it was a soundtrack that was written especially for this movie, which I find really
Awesome.
I wasn't going to cover this thing, but I wish there was a soundtrack, like it was like a released soundtrack for this movie, because I would totally buy it. I would so buy it because it's just it's crazy. So this music, this first song here is kind of like the theme song. They play it a few times. It's called Only You, and we'll play that later. But we open with this woman named Valerie. She's returning home to her apartment one night. She takes off her shoes, throws in a microwave dinner while listening to her answer machine, messages.
That old ass rewind, the tape, press play.
Yeah, the big ass thing. And she gets a message from her agent telling her that she got the job and she's going to be featured on the cover of Cosmo, but has to fly out to Paris first thing in the morning. And the agent's like, oh, by the way, I told him you have a great tan, so you better be tan.
Better go get a great tan.
Yeah, so
in 8 hours.
Right. She gets so excited she does like a mini flash dance.
Yeah, she does. She gets like,
runs in place.
Stockings. Yeah.
So she grabs her shoes back and her bag, and she hightails it out for the tanning salon.
Second Sun,
which I guess is a 24-hour tanning salon, apparently. So in the tanning bedroom, she strips down. We get, the boob shot. Mm-hmm. She lies on the crappiest looking tanning bed I've ever seen.
It was massive.
This thing is huge.
And it closes like auto closes.
Yes, thank you. We're about to get there. Yeah.
But did they do that?
I've never seen one that do that, because that's the thing. Like, she gets in the bed and she lays stomach down first, and then the lid just closes on her like it's on. I've never seen that. Normally, you lay on your back and you just pull it down. Yeah, I'd be freaked out too.
But it's so big, she's like flipping around like she's a pig in a luau or something.
It's so big, like, and when this thing closes. To me, this thing looks like a giant slab of carbonite, and the only thing it's missing is like the outline of Han Solo on the top.
Yeah,
it's
massive.
It's really big.
So she flips over onto her back, and almost instantly, almost the second she flips onto her back, the tanning bed just erupts into flames.
Like,
just
not,
boom.
Not just erupts, but it starts shooting flames like a flamethrower.
What is happening? There's sparks.
Sparks. Yeah, there's flamethrowers shooting out.
Yeah.
And we don't really hear her scream though.
Not a whole lot, which bothers me too. So yeah, now
maybe this is how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, so Valerie is
It's so hot. It's so hot.
She's literally on
Ultimate
fire,
tan.
being burnt alive, trapped inside the shitty tanning bed. She's kicking and kind of twitching about inside, but not once does she try to even open the lid.
Well, that's
she
what I
just lays there.
Why doesn't she try to open the lid? Is that why it was auto? Because they were trying to make it a point, like she couldn't open the lid. Is it even worth saying that?
I don't
Does it
even know what
matter?
to because I mean, even if it wasn't, like they could be. I would still like. I'd be
You're shaking,
Banging on it,
baking,
shaking on it,
screaming,
yeah.
and the girl at the front desk doesn't hear her screaming,
No.
or the fire alarm doesn't go off. There's no smoke detector, nothing.
She's just flopping around in there like bacon.
And so, and this whole time we have yet to see this woman's face, by the way. And when it does show her head in the tanning bed, it's clearly just a mannequin head with a wig on it.
Yeah.
And they just
Terrible
dub
wig.
and they just dub really shitty screaming on top of the ears.
Ah.
It's really, really bad. After about 30 seconds, the tanning bed burns out or whatever because it just shuts off then, and the fire is instantly put out. Like I've never fire doesn't just instantly go on. It's like a fireplace or a stove. You just turn the gas on, the fire's poof gone.
I just don't understand how there's
I don't know what
flames.
happens.
Yeah.
No.
I understand sparks, but like you need some sort of like source for the flame to exist, like propane, gasoline, something like that.
Fluorescent
Oxygen,
bulbs.
pure oxygen.
Yeah.
But tanning juice.
Fluorescent bulbs.
It's a tanning oil, I
apparently-
guess, or something. But yeah, the flame just
glitch.
poof out. They instantly disappear instead of like slowly dying down. They're just gone. Which again I think is really fucking funny. So we jump ahead now. I think it's 2 years or so into the future.
Yeah.
It's a few years
2
into the
years.
future. And we're taken to Rhonda's gym, which is just called Rhonda's Workout. It's the most laziest name I've ever heard for a gym. Like Rhonda's Workout is like a like PX90 or just whatever workout craze would be like. Oh, I do Rhonda's Workout. Where do you do
Like
that?
Taibo or
Yeah.
something,
Like,
yeah.
oh, I do it at Rhonda's gym. No, it's so weird. Like Rhonda's Workout
Workout
is the name of the gym and also the name of the workout. I guess people do.
And that workout is
Pretty interesting. Yeah.
It is. So this is where we get our first montage of spandex-clad women doing aerobics.
Our first.
Our first of
of
many.
many. And when you say workout, when you say aerobics, let's dive into that a little bit, shall we? Because this aerobic exercise basically consists of cleavage shots,
Oh yeah.
butt thrusts, and humps.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
ass and titties.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
ass,
but
titties,
like-
and pelvis thrust.
But not like put them on the glass. Hey, put them on the glass. Hey, it's not like that.
No.
but it's like to like,
Almost.
but almost.
It's
yeah,
sex
But it was-
simulation. There's a lot of sexual simulation.
especially later in the one when they're like down there hands and knees
Now,
like humping.
I want to say, do you guys remember the video that went around a little while ago on the internet of the Crystal Light National Aerobic Competition of all those people doing like
Yes,
crazy
yes.
aerobic
Oh yeah, like,
dancing?
and, like the
to-
team aerobics.
Yes, the
yeah,
team
the
aerobics.
three guys were the
With
big
the
ones.
mustaches?
The mustaches,
So
yeah, they're
this
the big
was
one.
huge in the 80s,
Yeah.
and we talked about this in Death Spot
Yeah, we
about
did.
how aerobics, especially for women, was all very.
It's like one of the only
It was
exercises
all
they did.
dancey. Yeah, it
Very
had to
dancey,
be dancey.
yeah.
It had to be, but this kind of goes a little bit
Yeah,
far.
Oh, it's so sexualized.
Waiting for the
Yeah.
pole to drop
I mean,
down.
Oh my
this is
God.
like this is one of those things that they always made fun of, like the cliche where you have just the guy like sitting home jerking off to like women's aerobics videos because they're just
Yeah.
that's basically what
Well,
they're
that's
playing on.
kind of
with
what
this.
she did because they show a guy watching and he's just
Oh yeah, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well that's where we're introduced to Rhonda, who the owner who is, and she's also leading the aerobics class at this time. And this creepy,
God.
pervy gym rat that works for Jimmy is just watching her from the sidelines and kind of like leering at her. He's like, "Oh yeah, baby," and he's just over on the side watching as all the girls bounce around. He's real creepy looking.
What is his name?
Jimmy.
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 Okay.
Now we also
This
meet.
gets confusing
Yeah,
to me later.
It does.
By the way.
We also meet Jamie now. She's the actual aerobics teacher who arrives late to work in her fucking Porsche.
Yes.
An aerobics teacher who drives a Porsche.
I will tell you right now that is false.
I was thinking for I didn't. Yeah,
That is
'cause I was
false.
like, I don't know anybody who wears that kind of bank.
I mean,
teach
I know it was
aerobics.
L.A.
We don't know if this is her side gig.
That's true. Oh, that's true.
She may be a lady of the night. Who knows?
Right.
Well, she
was
could because the
because-
first thing she
because-
drops out. Yeah, she gets out of the car,
Look at
drops
that
the purse.
outfit she's got on too.
Well, she comes to work in spandex.
Yeah.
But for work. But when she gets out of the car, she drops a purse and like a dozen condoms.
Oh,
go.
yeah.
It's like car
Everywhere.
keys and then just condoms everywhere.
Safety first. I mean, I got to give it
Yeah.
to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to do it.
So the class ends. Jimmy immediately goes and hits on Rhonda, asking her out. She adamantly shoots him down, and we get a sense that this is not the first time that she's rejected his advances. Yeah. She walks away, and we see Jimmy glaring at her as she walks. It's like going, like dun dun dun.
It's like an extreme close up of
Yeah.
this like weird creepy face.
Yeah, it really. It's like somebody's trying a little too hard to kind of set some, kind of set somebody up. Anyway. Jamie comes in. Rhonda gives Jamie the business for being late and missing her class.
She walks in like right after it's over, and she's looks surprised.
Yeah.
As the instructor, you know what time it starts and ends.
How
Like,
fucking late was she? Because she shows up, she's like, "You're late. I'm not going to teach your class anymore." She's like, "Sorry." She's like, "We're closing down. Clean up the bathroom." She's like, "How fucking late? Like you showed up before it closes?" That's how late she was.
that's true. That's true. I didn't think about that.
That's so fucking
Yeah,
late.
that happens real fast. That whole transition.
It's like you missed the whole day.
So yeah, we cut to this women's locker room, and we get a shower scene of this random black woman. While she showers, all the other girls they change, they leave. The gym closes down. Jamie's still behind. She stayed behind to clean up and lock up, and she turns on the light. She turns the lights on in the women's locker room while the black girl's still in the shower, and we see here a hand holding a ridiculously comically large safety pin. Seriously, guys, I shit you not, listeners. A giant safety pin.
A baby pin,
That's
a
what I was
diaper
gonna say.
pin.
It's like
this-
gonna be on a gigantic diaper.
Yes, this is exactly what I said. This is the type of thing you would get at like a Spencer's Gifts that would come attached to like the novelty diaper you'd give to somebody who turned 40.
Yeah, like yes.
The over-the-hill diaper gag.
Yeah.
Right.
And this thing is huge. It's like a foot long.
Sharp.
Yeah, it's
sharp.
it's a big ass baby
Safety.
pin.
It's a fucking
Safety
safety
pin,
pin. Anyway, you see the hand unclasps the pin and opens it. And the woman in the shower, she's still showering off while like doing the whole like, hello? Anybody there?
Why
hello?
is she still showering in the dark? I
How
don't
long?
know. Like,
how long has that bitch been
oh
showering?
my gosh, she's got to be really pruny. Like, what's happening?
But yeah, I agree with you guys. She's in there for a long time. She spins around, and we see the hand holding the safety pin raised above her head, and then it stabs her with the safety pin.
It's so awkward.
It'd be the most awkward thing to kill somebody with, because it's so. It looks bad in the movie. It would be even harder in real life. It's not really functional.
Where do you stab someone where it actually makes a difference too?
It's
I
so
mean,
weird because essentially, okay, there's we've seen people like be a killer with an ice pick, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, and we've talked about it before. You gotta fucking go to town on somebody with an
Right.
ice pick to get them. So essentially, it's the same thing. It's the same length, same diameter, but it doesn't have a handle for like
No.
a normal strike, like an overhand strike or a thrust to the stomach or something.
No, it doesn't.
It's got this fucking weird
curve?
like
curve. That would hurt your hand.
triangular
Yeah.
curve.
It's so weird. It's so awkward. Like I don't. But yeah, so
It's like an acute triangle kind of
yeah,
thing
it's
going
like
on.
it's like the 45-degree angle or
Yeah,
something.
it's so
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah, so the killer is like stabbing this woman in the shower repeatedly, like in the chest and torso.
But it just looks like she's whapping her with it.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
doesn't-
It's not like
It
stabbing her.
doesn't
It's
look like
whack,
I mean,
whack, whack.
it looked like it would hurt me. Like, ow, stop that
Yeah,
type
it
thing.
looks
Not
like
like,
it
oh
would
my
really
god, you're
hurt.
killing me.
Oh my god, I'm being murdered. I'd be like, oh my god, someone's scratching me a whole lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This
But-
sucks.
So the last stab, the killer just picks up and stabs her right in the neck, and
It's
then
the jugular.
and- yeah,
Is she just like
and then she
tap
dies.
it?
But again,
I mean,
but it's so weird. Like she dies instantly. Wait,
Yeah.
I get from like if you slit somebody with a blood or a big old knife and
Yeah.
you split the throat open. And go, this is like a little pinhole. Like you just put your hand over it and probably
Which she
one arm,
does.
you're like, hey guys, I
she
need
does
help.
put her hand on it. She
The
puts her
fir-
hand over
in
it.
the-
It just
God, we're
bleeds
going-
out.
The first stab, she's like stunned.
Yeah.
Like she got punched
like,
by Mike
"Ah."
Tyson. You know, she's like, ugh. And then Whap, 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 a few more. The finishing blow. She holds her neck. Blood
done.
spills out, and she's done.
And she's dead.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's the least intimidating scary murder weapon in his slasher movie history, I believe. So we cut back to Jamie going about business, cleaning up the locker room. And she nearly walks in on the killer, moving the dead body. But instead, Jamie goes into the men's locker room. And shit gets fucking weird here.
Yeah, she does.
She opens up one of the lockers and takes out some random dude's jockstrap. And like a proper panty-loving perv, she is in love with this jockstrap.
She's like stretching the elastic, like, wow.
She's like, I kept waiting for her like to sniff this thing. I was like, is she tell me? Oh god, is she gonna sniff this jockstrap?
She's looking at it like balls were in here.
Yeah, and she's playing with it. And
is it Jimmy's?
We don't know.
We don't know who
so are we supposed to assume it's Jimmy's? Because they had a moment earlier
there was another guy, like he comes, like his name's Tom or Tony or something like that.
Oh my god, they all look the same.
I
don't know.
Yeah, Tommy or Tony / and Jimmy look almost identical. And then there's Chuck we haven't gotten to yet. But yeah, she has a moment with this other guy who hits on her.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's his or Jimmy's or just some random dude. There's no name in the locker.
Yeah,
it's just she opens up and pulls out a jockstrap.
She is really into the jockstrap.
Yeah. But she gets startled by Rhonda, who comes up behind her and just like starts just laughing at her for playing the jockstrap. And rightfully so. I'd be laughing at it.
To be perfectly honest, I kind of like this moment. Maybe it's girls can be pervy at guys' underwear too, because you always see the guy with the underwear like stealing a girl's underwear or like smelling the underwear or something like that. Girls,
that's not really funny. That's
hashtag me
gross.
too. Yeah.
I mean, I get where you're going,
rights, right?
Yeah, right. But
girls,
it was the 80s.
But a jockstrap is like this notorious, like just filthy, just dirty.
God. I don't want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it, guys.
It's a ball holster.
Yeah.
And for times when you sweat a lot, like too.
Yeah.
Like it's not even.
They're gross.
Yeah.
There's a reason they were like such a gag in the 80s. It's
So Rhonda just laughs at her, tells her to hurry up.
Covered that.
So they close, and because apparently both of them have to get to some dinner party or dinner date or I don't know what, some dinner. But anyway, Jamie's now in the women's locker room. She's cleaning up. Again, she decides to start snooping through lockers. This girl might be a klepto or something. She snoops through everybody's shit.
Well, she thinks she hears something, doesn't she?
I think at one point.
There's like a banging noise or something, which is
might
really
be a quick,
random.
Like quick little bang on a locker, metallic bang, but still it's real random.
Yeah.
So she opens the locker, and a fake arm on a string falls out as a gag, like a jump scare.
Yeah.
Which is really fucking weird that this would even exist in this gym.
Who's a jokester like that?
Yeah.
Who's playing?
It's not like it's Halloween season.
One of those gals that sure is a prankster.
It's not Halloween season, and this isn't like this is something you would see like one of those movies that would take place in like a haunted attraction.
Right.
You see that shit all the time, but
or like there's a quirky character who's like
there are no quirky characters. All the women are just plugging, copy paste. They're all generic. It's so random and out of place. It's so weird that this is in the movie. But she just puts the arm back in the locker, closes it.
Is it for a jump scare? Is it
it's supposed to be
for a jump scare?
Yeah, that's exactly all I got.
I feel like there was a lot of weak. There was a lot of week attempts at things like that throughout this whole movie. So I kind of chalked things up to that weakness.
But when she slams that locker closed, the force of her slamming that locker causes the other locker next to it to open, and out falls the body of the dead black woman. So we've already talked about the killer arm. So she screams, and we cut to the EMTs bagging up the body and carrying it out of the locker room. And
the EMTs are dressed all in white,
all in white,
and in white body bags.
Yep. White? I've never seen white body bags.
Like maybe it's a California thing.
I guess, man. They try to be cheerier there, I guess, with their death. And this is where we meet Detective Morgan, who finds a bloody knitting needle in one of the lockers. And oh god, Detective Morgan is awful. He's acting
the
is
worst.
He's the worst.
He reminded me of Hunter. Do you remember that show, Hunter?
Holy shit! That's a blast from the past.
Because this movie kind of becomes an episode of Hunter.
I could totally see
and
that.
I don't want to spoil it, but
this movie goes from horror movie to like action detective movie.
So the thing with like
Hunter,
and he is like the key.
Hunter
ingredient.
was like a detective in the 80s. It was only on for like 3 or 4 seasons, but I remember specifically he had a handgun with a scope on top. And it was like, ooh.
Yeah. And
Like he had like a handgun, like a big revolver type of handgun, but it had like a scope on top. And he would every once in a while use it. But most of the time he just run around bang, bang, bang like a normal guy would. But every once in a while he'd really line up his shots.
in a tie and a sport coat.
But yes,
as well,
yes,
because,
tie, sport coat, and balding slightly.
Little balding spot,
slightly,
but kind of long, like almost like the fullet.
Much like Detective Morgan, who was also balding a little bit with just a bit of mullet.
Yep.
It's
shaggy.
Yeah.
It's shaggy.
Yeah, it's shaggy.
It's that 80s cut.
Oh, yeah,
Just
definitely.
a touch of mullet.
It's,
Just a
So,
that's all you need.
so in the gym office, Morgan's talking to Rhonda and Jamie, and like the acting and writing the scene are just comically horrendous. It's some of the worst. It's so bad. And Morgan mentions that the body and the bloody knitting needle were found in Diane Matthews' locker. But again, what I found funny about this, and maybe it's just me, and I'm going off of something, but I've never been to a gym where they have assigned lockers. Like Gold's Gym, Wise Gym, the old Valley Bikini, you just walk in, grab one, and done it.
No, I've been in gyms where you rent a locker. If you go there so many times, you pay $40 for the year, and that's your locker.
Is that a thing? Because I would say every gym I've ever been to, I would go to the locker and you just walk in, throw your stuff in, close it.
You go there every time. So much. You go there so often. You know, if you're a regular, like a very good regular,
Plus spas and things in the 80s, they were. It was totally different. It was just like a sports club.
It was a place.
It was a place to be. When you were a member, you bought a membership, and like
you got the jacket.
It
you
was
got the
different.
keychain.
I mean,
you're probably right. I'll withdraw my argument on that.
But either way, why would she have a bloody knitting needle there?
Yeah, that's not exactly.
She likes to knit.
And he just picks it up and puts it in a bag.
Yeah, no gloves. No gloves. Here's some evidence. He picks it up.
And then drops it on Rhonda's desk. Like, he's like, "What do you know about this?" She's like, "I don't know." Like what?
Bloody knitting needle? I don't know, man.
Hell?
Yeah, I forgot to put that in my notes. But yeah, he picks it up out of the locker with no gloves on.
I did love because they packed up the body and they're like, "Okay, all yours, Sergeant." Detective, and he's just like, "All right." And
I'm gonna go rooting around.
There's all this evidence, and he's just like grabbing shit with his bare hands.
Nobody none of the crime scenes are ever like sealed off and clean. They're just like they don't give a shit.
And it's just him.
Yeah, apparently he's the only cop. It's him and one other cop in all of LA apparently that we ever seen.
Who looks like Barney Fife.
Oh yeah.
So so anyway, now we cut to another aerobics and workout montage. Oh, this one is basically just an excuse for the camera to zoom in on the girls' asses and spandex.
They are humping the floor.
Yeah.
They are straight humping.
This is humping the
floor.
During this, we see two dudes lifting weights and talking about the murdered woman. And they're talking like if they were like the killer, like, hey, did you kill her? No, I didn't. But like, if I killed her, I would have fucked her first because she's such a babe.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
What?
Yep.
Like, I would fuck her first, then I would have killed her.
Then I would have done it.
Fucking maniacs.
Yeah. And
hashtag me too. Oh my God.
I love that. I love the hashtag me too. So this is where we're introduced to the gym's newest employee, Chuck. Now, Chuck is pretty damn ripped. He's got this dirty blonde mullet.
He's so ripped.
Dude, he's so muscular.
He's jacked.
It's 1980s pro wrestler muscular.
Yeah, just huge.
Just
ripped. Yeah.
His like, it's not his lats, but it's like his shoulder blades on his back look like boobs.
He's got muscles.
They look like boobs.
Muscles.
So
it's traps. Yeah.
Is it traps?
Yeah,
it's like this.
It's ridiculous how muscular he is.
Yeah, he's insanely
It's off the charts. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And they love Chernobyl because pretty much the entire movie, all he wears is a blue muscle tank top and like itty bitty red shorts.
Tiny 80s workout shorts.
Yeah.
America.
That's pretty much 90% of his movie time is in that outfit.
Yep.
But we find out that Chuck tells Rhonda that her senior partner, Mr. Erickson, hired him on without Rhonda knowing. And so Rhonda's not happy about that, but Chuck, anyway. And during the office, and we haven't mentioned this, but I gotta bring this up because I loved it. in Rhonda's office behind her desk is this old LA Gear
Oh
poster.
yeah, the LA Gear.
And I was like,
Yes.
when was the last time you seen the LA Gear poster?
Oh.
I loved it. I was like, ah!
I wanted a pair of LA Gears so bad.
LA
We did not have the money for it when I was a kid.
LA Gears in the 80s were a type of shoe/clothing brand.
Yeah.
Definitely
But
more shoes, I think.
Definitely, they lean more towards shoes. But one of the interesting things about it was they would have like 3 different sets of shoelaces, and they were all different colors. So you
Yeah.
could have
You
like
would mix
a
and match.
white, a pink, and a red, and like
High
you can mix
tops.
them up, and they were high tops.
A lot of neon colors in LA.
Yeah,
A lot of neon
but it was like
pinks and-
you
Then
had
you
to
would
tie your shoes 6 times to get out the door.
And then you would wear 2, like almost like 4 socks.
Yeah.
Like they would be neon too. Oh God. The
Yeah.
80s.
I remember, not just 80s, it was late 90s. I remember last time we talked
early
about LA
90s,
Gears,
yeah.
Jennifer Aniston wore LA Gears in the first Leprechaun
Oh, yeah.
movie. I remember talking about that.
Did.
But anyway, I love seeing LA Gear, so I had to mention it. So we cut to Chuck taking out the trash, and he's nearly hit by Jimmy, who pulls up in his car, roaring into the parking lot. Now, Jimmy, at this point, I thought also drove a black Porsche. I was like, what the fuck?
Okay, so
But
that is Jimmy.
Yes.
This is Jimmy.
Okay.
It is a Mustang.
It does turn out to be a Mustang later,
Oh
yes.
man. I have a thing for Mustangs. I liked it.
The two of them they get into each other's faces. They're broing out.
Oh my God. Immediately though.
Immediately.
Like,
Instant
hey,
roid
man.
rage. Instant
What?
roid rage.
What's up with you? No, what's up with you?
Because Jimmy's a big dude too.
Yeah, he is.
Like
He's
he's bigger.
He's taller than Chuck, but Chuck is having more muscular and defined. Jimmy's just like 80s big.
But
Yeah.
he's
He's
still
a big guy.
He's still got some fucking
yeah,
guns.
he's got some mass to him. He's 80s big. It's hard to describe. He's just a
2
big
male gorillas defending their
Yeah,
territory.
it's like 2 alpha males just
Right.
immediately.
And an instant roid rage. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, fuck you, man.
The fuck you, man. The fuck you, bro.
Oh, it's so terrible. The dialogue
Oh,
is
it's
so,
awful. But it
it's
gets
like a
better.
robot.
It gets so much better. Because Jimmy's like telling Chuck, like, you better stay away from Rhonda.
away
Rhonda's
from
mine.
Rhonda.
And Chuck's
Stay
like, get,
away.
get the hell out of here, man. And now, holy shit, the shitty horror movie turned into an even shittier kung fu movie.
Yeah.
Because apparently these 2 musclehead gym rats are 8th degree black belts. They go into a full-blown Van Damme-like martial arts fight in a parking lot.
Choreographed punches, catching,
Complete like spinning roundhouse jumping kicks and all sorts of shit. It's fucking bonkers.
It's like Hawaii 5-0 mixed with like Magnum PI mixed with like Kung Fu, and it's all this do 80s music.
And keep in mind, Chuck is he's doing like jumping spin kicks in these tiny little ball hugging
my
short.
God.
I kept thinking his balls were gonna pop out at one point because he's doing it. It's the punching sound effects are atrocious.
but they're going at it, and there's no one around.
No. Well,
until one girl
except-
struts out.
Until this one
Yeah.
girl, she's one of the large-breasted girls from the aerobics class we've seen several
God.
times. She pops up and just watches the fight.
She's getting
Yeah.
into her car. She's like, what's this
what's
over here?
Wait a minute. What do I see here? What do I behold with my
Walks
eyes?
around and parks on top of her car and just
Watches it.
Just give her some fucking popcorn, man. She'd be like front row at the fight.
Do you blame her? I probably would have done the same thing. Oh, okay, let's check this out.
Whoever wins, that's who
Let's
gets
see.
it.
Oh.
Well, let's see whose steroids are better.
Yeah.
Who paid more for their steroids? So Jimmy loses. Chuck gets the upper hand and tells Jimmy that, next time I'm gonna finish it, bro, or something like
Oh
that.
my
And
God.
Get out of here.
So Jimmy pouts. He gets in his car, drives away.
And I guess to the spoils goes the winner.
Yeah.
God.
Loser leaves town, apparently.
The winner.
Yeah, he just leaves. Wasn't he going there?
Yes,
Is
He just pulled
He
up.
just pulled up.
I know.
He gets in the car and immediately leaves.
Does
he
he
doesn't go
work
inside
there?
for what? Yeah, we never know if he works there or if he's just like a gym member.
Because he like
it's
shows
never
up.
established.
He shows up and he's like, "Are you new here?" So it's like he's almost upset that this new guy works there.
Yeah, I don't
So-
know. I don't know if he works there or if he's just
I
like,
think he
or,
does.
or if he's just like alpha male of the
I think-
gym.
I think-
I'm just leaving.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
doesn't
no.
matter.
So, no. He drives a sweet Mustang.
He does.
Yeah.
So Chuck then talks to the pretty big-titted brunette who says like the most 80s line of the movie. She says the first thing she says to him is, "Wow, that was rad." I
Rad.
loved it. That was rad. And with that,
was rad.
pretty much, And pretty much just that Chuck
basically goes,
hops into his car.
You want to go for a ride? He's like, all right, girl.
Like, that's the best offer I've got all day.
Gets in the car, puts his arm around her,
and they drive off.
This is his first day at work.
That's what I was saying.
Like, this is his first fucking day on the job.
What a horrible employee.
Luckiest
he
guy
hasn't even been to
ever.
work. He's been here like 5 minutes.
Yep.
He gets into a 5
minutes.
He gets into a
He
fight.
gets into a fight with one of the members.
Yeah.
And then goes on a fucking
Joyride,
booty call.
yeah.
Or a joyride.
in like some kind of a convertible.
Yeah, I
It was
think
like a
it was a
BMW.
Porsche.
I think it was a BMW.
Because it had those front curved headlight, that very Porsche-like.
Yeah, it could have been a Porsche or a BMW.
I think this
I'm not
movie was
sure.
sponsored by
He's
Porsche,
like James
man.
Bond, you know?
Yeah.
James
Yeah.
Bond and some booty shorts.
He beats up the henchman and then he goes on. He takes the lady for a ride. And
Hey.
the lady takes him out. Yeah.
So
That was impressive.
yeah, so they and now as they're driving through town, one of the shitty songs, but it's awesomely shitty,
this
starts to
song.
play as they drive through the streets, and they end up back at the girl's house, where they
They drink Diet Pepsi.
where they drink Diet Pepsi. They sit in folding lawn
They sit in
chairs
lawn chairs.
and drink Diet
Did
Pepsi.
you guys? Did your parents have those lawn chairs when you were
Yes.
growing up?
Yeah.
Yes.
We totally had those lawn
It's like the
chairs.
fabric, the woven fabric.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
metal frame,
Yeah.
and they were light.
Those things fucking suck.
They did
Oh,
suck.
they did suck.
And they'd
'cause
always
they
like break and your ass like fall through.
yeah, or you would like they'd fall in, like,
Yeah.
and you'd fall
The
down.
the
yeah.
fabric would start to rip, or like part
Yeah.
of the arm, the plastic arm was broken. It would cut you, and,
Yeah.
and you'd get up and it'd pinch your ass. And Jesus, you know, because you're wearing 80 shorts that are basically
Yeah.
boxer shorts.
Not even barely they're kind of like slightly larger whitey tighties.
So anytime we went to go watch the parade downtown Belleville, my ass would have all kinds of pinches on it as I'm falling through our broken fabric lawn chair. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Well, she's like driving a Porsche too,
Yeah.
but then she has this like whole setup.
yeah,
It's these like two lawn chairs. Let's go sit in these lawn
Lawn
chairs
chairs.
strategically placed in my
Her lawn chair
yard.
set up and then like a child's table
yeah,
like a
a little
plastic
child
table.
plastic table in
with
between
a red telephone.
Oh, we're gonna get to that phone. I have issues with this fucking phone. So they start, they're sipping on their Diet Pepsi, and they end up talking about Jimmy and how apparently this girl went out with him once a while back, and Chuck,
He's a real weirdo.
and she tells
so
Chuck that she's
weird.
been weird. She's like tying girls up and all that, and Chuck wants his address, so she's like, all right, whatever. She gets up, goes in the house, and says, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. As soon as she leaves, Chuck picks up that fucking phone that for some reason is outside. Like this is the 80s, and it's not a portable phone. It's not a cordless phone. It's not a wire. It's a full-on landline phone.
Landline phone.
Yep.
Where the hell is this thing plugged in at? It's out in the middle of the
In the
backyard.
bushes.
It must
Out
have
in
like
the
a
bushes.
like
The
a 200 foot
right.
long
The
cord
longest cord ever.
like, for this thing to be working. He calls Mr. Erickson and he has a conversation, but we only hear Chuck's half of it, so we don't really know what they're talking about. But we get the idea that there's more to Chuck than him just being the newest employee at the gym. The girl comes back out wearing the short, silky robe. Chuck says, "Hey, I should leave because I got a lot of work I got to do back at the gym because it's my job I just
Right,
abandoned."
it's my
First
first
day
day.
at work.
It's my first day.
And the girl tells him that you have a lot to do here. And with that, she drops her robe to reveal that she's wearing this sexy blue bikini. And they start making out on the spot.
Oh, Frenching.
And
Serious Frenching.
It is not pretty looking.
Branching.
Proper Frenching.
But it's not like attractive looking French.
It's
No.
like teeth clanking.
Yeah, it's like the
Drool spilling.
it's like the biggest, widest open mouth kissing I've ever
Blah.
seen.
Did you guys ever have that? I mean, I'm sorry, but when
Of
you
course
were
I
like
did.
when like yeah, and you expected it to not be that, and then they tried to eat your face,
Yeah.
and then you had to try to get out of being with them anymore because that's gross. Like,
I think everyone had that when they're learning how to kiss.
Right.
Basically, yeah. I mean, you kind of.
I had a girl that in their is my 20s.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Blah." I'm like, oh God, I hated kissing her, but I was like, I have to do this.
I kinda-
But I hated it because it was just like, "Blah." I'm like, ah,
Maybe this will lead to something else.
yeah, that's the only reason. Like, I gotta stick with this. I hate it, but
No, I always got like the tongue sweep. Someone going, "Blah, blah." like into my mouth, like
lapping your tongue.
It was like lapping, but it was like a big square. Like they cleaned my teeth off. You know, I'm just like Jesus.
That's what we watched. I mean, that's
that's what it was. Basically, what was happening. But it was kind of sexy.
Yeah. And
with that weird mullet he had.
It's
he's just so muscular.
His hair looks like a coonskin cap.
It does. It really
looks
does.
like the raccoon tail just grows off the back of his hair.
Yeah, like his mullet. It's not one of those loose flowing mullets. That's
nice feathered mullet.
No, it's just like
no.
it's like glued to the back of his head. It's just there.
And it's short and tight.
It's short. It's not long like Joe Dirt mullet.
It's just covering the back of his neck. It's so weird. It's the weirdest mullet I've ever seen.
So many guys had that look in the 80s.
This whole makeout scene, this whole time, this song. This horrible song is playing, and this is where we're gonna cue up song number 1 here.
It's blasting.
Because you gotta hear these songs. So enjoy song number 1. So yeah, that's song number 1. That's knockout. And right after that, this scene ends and that song. We go back to the gym to another aerobics montage.
This is the third one.
And this one is accompanied by another.
Song.
It goes right into another crazy song, which you're gonna get this one too because it's fucking insane if you actually listen to the words to this. It's basically just insulting fat people. So
here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, so we found out knockout and it goes straight into that song where it's just talking like you hear it in the lyrics like if you're feeling like if your body's fat or something like that, you look like
body's too big.
If you're Mr. Hippo and you look like Mrs. Pig, it's like,
you gotta work out. You gotta work out.
Gotta work out. All the chicks are so rail thin, which is so ironic too, because like during this,
I didn't really think they were that thin. Some were.
There are some thin chicks.
There are some really thin ones, yes. Yeah. But I say overall, there's some that still aren't that thin.
I know. I just found it funny that they were singing about if you feel like a hippo and you're like a size 0. Like, I don't know. But there's nice boobs. There's boob diversity.
There is boob diversity. Much like Death Spa. There's boob diversity.
There is boob diversity.
But it is LA.
There are some chicks in there that are just, whoa, they are way too thin. Like, just abs for days. It's because that's all they do. And there was one with like stick legs with super long blonde hair.
Yeah,
I liked her hair though.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. The blonde with the long hair,
straight hair,
the purple.
So during this montage, we also see Jimmy watching the women from his sideline perch again.
Yeah, and like I could not imagine that happening today. Just someone just come by, hanging out,
baby,
just watching all these girls jump around with Now, there are a few dudes in these scenes, too.
There are some dudes doing the aerobicize as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but mostly it's centered
all
on the
and
spreading
and when you see
of the
guys,
legs.
they are in the background. They do not do the close-ups of the dudes like you do.
Yeah,
with
they're not
women.
the ones like getting a close up with them humping the
ass and
floor.
titties.
Yeah, we did no
like
like
that,
ball shots.
Right,
Like,
right.
Thank God.
Which that's
This
fine.
guy's just sitting there leering, at these women, and
Yeah.
there's one girl who's looking at him.
Well, longing.
Longing.
It's Diane.
She starts pulling her
Yeah,
top down,
she pulls her
shaking her
spandex,
boobies up and down.
her chest line down, like put the boobs out more.
Poor Diane. Now, is Diane the one?
She's the one who
Had the knitting needle.
Okay,
in the
so that's
locker.
who they think
who the
is.
dead black woman in the beginning. It was her locker that was
Right.
they found her.
Or at least, well, I don't know if it's her. They found the knitting needle in her locker. That's what they say. They don't
Right.
tell her. Anyway, so after the class ends, Diane goes over to Jimmy. He's like, "Hey, Jimmy, what are you doing tonight? You have any plans?" And he's like, he just basically blows her off like a dick.
Oh, yeah,
and just
he's a
walks
real
away.
dick.
And she's
I don't
like,
have any plans. I don't have any plans either. Too
bad.
As he like slicks his hair back.
Ah.
yeah. And he walks away.
You ever do that? It's like too slow, and you move your hand for
Oh,
a high
yeah.
five, and then you slick your hair back. That's kind of what he did to her.
That's like the Ric Flair move. He used to do that.
Yeah.
Like, walk down the aisle and sort of fan.
That was great.
So now we jump all the way to nighttime. It's only
yeah,
night.
it's just now it's night.
We see Jimmy dressed in all black outside of Rhonda's workout on the sidewalk, and he's just going down the sidewalk. And we cut to Diane, who's walking alone down the sidewalk, being followed by someone in a car now. And the person in the car opens the glove box and pulls out a gun. Diane reaches her house. She goes inside, and we see it's Morgan who is getting out of the car, and he's radioing HQ. And this is where we find out that Morgan is the badass cop who plays by his own rules.
Yeah, he does. Apparently, he drives his own shitty
Shitty-ass car.
from
Rusted
1973.
Yeah, his car's a piece of shit.
It's a massive old dented, scuffed up.
The detective, the lieutenant detective or detective lieutenant of the police force drives a shitty ass beater car that should be in a junkyard, while the part-time aerobics instructor is driving a fucking Porsche.
The 80s were a messed up time. The stock market. Maybe he played the stock market wrong.
Yeah.
So, again, the writing and acting here with Morgan is absolutely awful.
Oh my god.
Inside Diane's house now has become the red light district of Amsterdam.
Jesus Christ! She looked like a weird senorita, like with the weird red
I thought
background.
her whole house is lit up in red light.
Red light, and she's wearing
She's in
a
a
red
90s
outfit,
silk
Yeah.
robe.
and she's got black hair like pulled up. She looks like she should be on like the can of a
See,
cover
I
of a
thought
salsa
she should be
can
like. I thought
or
she should be like
something.
one of the, in Amsterdam, like one of the women like in the window. Like, they walk down the street, there's the women in the window.
Yeah,
Type thing.
I hear it, but I saw those ladies.
She's
They
trying to
were a little less than that. Anyway,
She's trying to be sexy. She's
Yeah.
trying to be sexy.
she is trying to be sexy, and
Which
this
is weird. It's for herself.
It's
I don't
funny,
know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
Love
she
yourself.
picks up the
What-
phone and she dials it.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
Please. That's. Oh yes, we have to talk about this.
she dials it and she talks and says,
When she picks up the phone, I'm instantly thinking this is about to become a phone sex commercial.
"Yeah."
the way she's
I was
looking.
thinking, okay, well that would make sense because it's all red light and sultry. But no, she calls it and says, "Are there any messages for me?"
Yeah.
None.
Answering services.
Oh.
Thank
you.
you.
So lonely.
And I was like, who is she calling? But then like, because if you
She
want
doesn't have an answering
get
machine.
an answering machine if you want messages, like, but when she hears she doesn't get any messages, she gets real sad all of a sudden. So like, I'm thinking, okay, maybe she was calling like in one of those old like 80s dating services, like the old video dating, where she was calling to see if guys like saw her tape and called. He's like, hey, did any guys see my tape? Have any messages?
That's right. Call in
Forgot
to
all about
this number.
those.
That's my only guess. It was like a video dating thing that she was
That's
calling to
a
see if
good
anybody liked her video.
I like that even better considering she dolled herself up
Yeah.
to check her messages or
To see if
call
any guys
somebody.
were interested in
Yeah.
her.
Now I feel really sad
would explain
for
why
her.
she would get sad she didn't have any messages. Because otherwise, like, why is she sad she didn't get any messages?
Yeah.
And why is she getting all sexed up for an answering service? Like, it was really weird. Anyway, as soon as she hangs up the phone, Detective Morgan starts knocking on the door.
Oh, he doesn't just knock on the door. He starts beating on
Well,
the door.
That comes, yeah.
Maniac.
A lot. Yeah, it's a little scary. Like, bam, 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 bam.
Well,
Bam, bam, bam,
at the
bam.
first knock, I wrote, like, for some reason, she's freaked out about this because
Yeah.
it's just knock on. The
He's
first one
knocking
was
on the
like,
door,
knock,
but
knock.
it just picks up. He doesn't
But then
wait.
he picks
He
up.
doesn't wait. He just knock, 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 knock,
He-
knock, knock, knock. Ah!
He hits the door like 100 times, and then he's like, "It's the police," and she's like, "What?" And
Like,
that's
I'd be the same way. I'd be like, what the fuck?
I'm not answering the door.
Yeah,
Who's knocking on the door like the police?
Ever to announce himself as the police.
Yes.
That should be like the knock knock. It's the
should've been,
police.
Hi, this is the police. I need to ask you some
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
I saw
waited
you
way too long.
inside. Please answer the door instead of.
It's the cops. Open up.
Maybe he's on some roids.
I think everyone is in this movie.
He's yelling out for Diane to open the door, but instead of opening the door, Diane starts.
And rightfully so.
Yeah,
she's freaked out.
slowly backing away, and she backs right up into the killer, who's somehow now in her house.
Somehow got into the house.
Yeah, and she spins around, and we see her get stabbed by the giant safety pin.
It's so anticlimactic.
It's horrible.
It's so bad. Okay,
It's just this little safety pin goes bink, and she freezes.
And then she does you wouldn't die from this one stab from this scrappy.
Somebody stab me with a safety pin, I would kick him in the nuts.
Right.
That would
I'd be
be my
so annoyed. I'd be like, really?
I will punch you in the face.
And we've seen her exercise. She can move. She knows how to, she works out. We've seen her.
She's gotta work out.
She's gotta work out.
Gotta work.
And she could move, but she was stuck and then froze. And then a few bink, a few more little touches of the safety pin, and she's done for.
Maybe the killer is like a superior acupuncturist and understands
knows where to hit.
Knows the exact pressure points.
Maybe
the
this
arteries,
is more
right?
kung fu
Freeze
than we
you
thought.
here, and I'll stop your heart. And I'll stop your lungs.
Ow! Wow! It's like Kill Bill with the special
the five-finger strike of death or whatever.
Oh man, they did pull some shit up like that in season 2 of Iron Fist. I just got done watching. They did a finger thing to the neck that.
I fucking hated Iron Fist. Anyway,
season 2 is not that bad. Season 2 I think is better than the first one. It's not great, but it's better than the first one.
Let's get back to the better movie here.
So as soon as she dies,
is better.
I think so.
Morgan bursts through the door, charges up the stairs, gun in hand. The killer, dressed in all black, wearing a ski mask,
Oh god!
jumps head first out a fucking window,
like the fucking human cannonball.
and just goes flying through a window, which we find out is at least 2 stories up.
At least
It's on the
2
second
stories,
story,
second floor. And somehow manages to land unharmed on the concrete below and just runs off into the night like a ninja.
Like sprints off, throws open a gate, looks left,
Looks
looks
right.
right, and then books it. And you can tell this is a fucking big guy. But the way he threw himself through the window, it was great. I screamed out loud with joy.
There's ways if you're gonna jump through a window and hope you land and run, you would kind of jump through and maybe go sideways with arm first or something. But this guy dies head first, swan dives out this window.
Swan dive through. And if you're on the second floor, maybe you jump feet first, thinking you're gonna need to try and land.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
to
Kind
catch
of
yourself.
jump out sideways with your feet underneath you.
Nope.
Head first.
And it's so fast. It's so fast.
So fast.
I mean, he just. I couldn't. It just happened so quick. I just yelled. My wife was asleep, and it was like, ah! She's like, "Shut up!" And I'm like, "No."
So Morgan goes back to his car where he gets a report from HQ on the radio that says the knitting needle is not the murder weapon.
Oh, how convenient!
Yeah, convenient now.
And
And
she goes, "No shit."
No
and it's
shit.
badass Morgan. Yeah.
You couldn't just
No
wait.
shit.
You couldn't wait a few minutes. Poor detective work.
We go back to the gym where we see the killer washing their hands in a sink. The killer also rinses off the bloody safety pin, sets it on the sink where we see a wig get placed next to the safety pin. All right, so we cut to Rhonda. She's going through the gym, picking up towels again, and she calls out thinking she heard someone. She's like, hello, anybody there? And she gets startled by Jimmy. Now, Jimmy's, they talk back and forth about some shit. Basically, Jimmy ends up saying he's not a crazy killer, that he just wants to get Rhonda alone. And Rhonda's like, I know you're not a killer, but you're just an asshole. And she walks off again.
Not exactly the most confident thing to say. Like confidence inspiring, I should say.
No.
I'm not a killer. I just want to get you alone.
Yeah.
I'm a killer. I just want you really bad.
And again, we see Jimmy glaring at her as she walks away. Now, outside, this group of 3 20-somethings runs up to vandalize the front window of Rhonda's workout by spray painting the words aerobicide and Death Spa on it. I was like, what? No way.
I wish we were watching Death Spa.
Me too.
Oh, me too.
Let's talk about that movie again.
Yeah, let's go back and redo that one.
Limp asparagus and everything. Yeah, come on.
You cried. They were
did. You
tears
did cry,
shed.
yeah.
Oh.
It's so funny.
They Jesus Christ, it is. They run off and somehow, like, instantly, magically get separated.
Yeah.
They were like in a pack of 3.
Where did
they
he go?
turn a corner, all of a sudden, now they're down to 2. And they're like, where'd Curtis go?
I don't understand how, like, did someone show up and say, hey, you kids, stop spray painting?
No,
Like,
they're like, oh, let's just get out
They
of
just
here.
ran off because
Yeah.
they finished the job.
yeah, I just tried. I didn't understand
They made it. They made it. They could have just ran to the car.
They could they could have walked to the car. They
Right.
just ran up, spray paint, and could have walked away.
That's why I was so confused. I'm like,
Yeah.
I might have, like, looked away and been
No,
like,
no,
huh? Wait,
nothing happened.
What? I had no idea.
Oh, Curtis, where'd you go?
So, yeah, one of the girls tells the other girl, like, hey, I'm going to go look for Curtis. And the other girl's like, well, I'm going back to the car.
Like, hell no.
So we cut to Curtis. He's like leaping over fences, sneaking around alleys or something like that.
Well, maybe that's one good way to get separated.
Yeah.
Right.
Leaping over fences,
The killer...
cutting through alleyways.
Exactly. Like, why would they do this? Like, they had probably just parked around the corner. Why? Yeah, it just makes
Maybe
zero
Curtis
sense.
is into parkour.
Yeah. He was a pioneer. He was the pioneer parkour before
Get
it was
that
a thing.
parkour! Get that parkour!
Parkour.
So the killer just grabs Curtis by the face and just kind of pushes him back against the fence and then just stabs him repeatedly.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
dumb.
like the Iron Claw.
It was.
From
It
the
should be
80s.
Yeah.
Iron Claw's
Like,
face.
we've talked about this before. It's like the power of the Iron Claw renders him immobilized.
Yeah.
He can't do anything
He can't move his
against the
arms.
power
Can't do anything
of
to
the
him.
Iron
Can't move
Claw.
his
It's that devastating of a maneuver.
And then just gets now this I actually kind of liked because the killer did jack him in the neck a bunch really fast, like you know, just like several quick stabs to the neck. That would fucking kill you.
That's like the only thing that we've actually seen so far that looks like an actual
Kill. Yes.
Like we haven't seen really any of the other
Yeah, we've
kills.
seen dramatic faces while someone pokes him
or
with
like
a-
blood running in
Yeah.
between my fingers
Yeah.
in the shower.
This looked like this would kill you. Other than maybe the Iron Claw being utilized, that was a little hokey.
the killer's on roids too.
It was
Everybody's on roids. Roid now.
So Curtis, he's dead instantly. And we-
Instantly.
yeah, pretty much
he's-
instantly. We go back to the girl who was looking for Curtis, and god damn does this chick have like a giant 80s rific lion's mane of hair.
It's
crimped. It's crimped.
so big.
Okay, if you guys don't know because you've never crimped your hair,
I haven't.
but it does not take a little bit of time. It takes a lot of time to crimp some hair, and
She's
she
got
had.
a fucking mane.
It's
Yeah,
like
some
down, almost
hair.
down to her ass. Almost.
I was
like
impressed.
That long.
I was.
It's a fucking lion's, proper lion's
Yeah.
mane of
She's
hair.
running and it's just
flowing.
Like I was actually just
Her
stunned.
hair, it's like a magical, like watching like a jellyfish in the ocean. Like it's like flowing.
Mesmerized.
Yes,
I was
mesmerized.
mesmerized
Like,
by her hair.
Her
I
hair
did-
should be like a screensaver. Like, you know, just
the
that movement,
like,
like
oh my
flowing
God.
her
hair.
running, just her constantly like running,
crimping.
like just like a gif
Crimping.
of her running, and it's just the hair flowing
Yeah.
constantly. I mean, it was something to behold.
It was. She's sneaking around the alleyways now in the dark, and basically the killer just comes up behind her, slits her throat with a large knife. This time,
There's
he
at
moves
least
up,
a
grabs me to a
knife,
knife
yeah.
here.
We've upgraded.
We've upgraded to a
All
knife.
right.
Thank God.
No
She's
shit.
dead. So she's dead now.
But it's also anticlimactic. It's
Yeah,
like, I mean,
well,
it's not.
I'm not going to say it was anticlimactic because I was happy to see a new tool.
Yeah,
being used.
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So meanwhile, the third girl, who turns out to be Debbie, who's the girl with the big tits that banged Chuck with over a sip of Diet Pepsi or something like that.
What?
Yeah, it's
Big Titty Debbie, yeah.
Big Titty
That
Debbie.
was-
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's her.
Yes, her.
Yeah.
Yeah. In her BMW / Porsche
Porsche
convertible,
whatever it was.
whatever European car that she has.
That's the only way I figured out, because when she gets back
When
to the
she
car,
runs to the
it's
car-
the same. I'm like, oh, that's the same car, so it's this girl.
Well, I recognize them titties.
Oh, okay. See, that's it. I didn't have the titty vision.
But see,
like,
there were
I
a
didn't
few-
know.
There were a couple different girls with some big
I
titties
didn't
in those
realize.
aerobic scenes that they
With
kind of
no support, wearing no
Oh,
support.
can we the girl in the blue sweater?
Jesus.
Those things are bouncing all over the place.
Just wait
I
till
don't
you're
have
40, honey.
I don't
Just
have
wait till you're
boobs.
40.
That looked painful to me. I was
Ah.
like, oh, that was so unpleasant.
Yeah, everybody else has like something like at least a tight spandex, maybe a sports. This girl in the blue sweater is just like they're bouncing like all over.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Put on a sports.
Like, you ever
there
see
were
those
no
speed
such.
bags that boxers use?
There were just no such thing as sports bras or like it just didn't happen. So yeah.
So Debbie, yeah, she
Debbie.
she runs back to the car. She
Okay.
quickly gets in,
I didn't know it was her.
and you guys want to take a guess as to what happens next, or should I say doesn't happen?
Well, yeah, Moon Goons, what do you think?
Well,
she runs to her car.
Car won't fucking start. That's what it doesn't
Oh
happen.
my God.
Shocker.
Big shocker. The killer comes running up behind the car, leaps up onto the trunk, and begins slashing through the soft canvas convertible top with the bloody knife.
She just can't. She can't lean over in the seat.
Yeah, just
Like,
lay down and see.
Something.
Right.
I don't, it's
And this
most
goes on for a
choppy.
long time.
just like a lot of
But
stabbing
she's
without
bobbing
any.
and weaving pretty well for a while.
I know,
don't
she's
know.
stab, 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 stab.
Or just, do like
stab.
go seat recline. It's like,
Right.
Behind
Just
the
roll.
seat.
This
Duck and
killer,
roll.
this
I don't-
you can see the killer's amounts of stabs. There's almost a whole giant hole.
yeah.
It must have been 30 stabs into the roof of this car. Wouldn't after like 10, you'd be like, fuck, I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
When am I going to hit this bitch? Jesus Christ.
Not if you're on roids.
Or at that point,
That's true.
You never get tired.
I can go for days.
Roy's PCP, who knows?
Whatever. Same thing.
You know, it's
You
right.
can just reach in and grab her too
Yeah,
at
at
that
this
point.
point, you can just
But
reach through.
yeah, eventually her luck runs out and she gets stabbed straight to the top of her
Straight to the
head.
head.
She dies on the steering wheel,
Falls
horn
to the
honking.
steering wheel, horn honking, and it's definitely a European car because it's like, me. Not,
So
Cecilia's honk.
the next morning, we see more EMTs loading up the bodies
Oh,
These
God.
EMTs are getting a fucking workout.
as the next aerobic montage, which is I think 3
Another
or 4 now. I don't know.
aerobics class. That's
Uh,
what this whole movie is.
yeah.
It's so much aerobics.
It starts off with the awesome
Too
song
much.
"Rock and Rock," which you goddamn right you're gonna hear this one too because it's fucking awesome. Yeah, so
Oh, it goes to the anthem. We will
rock and rock.
I love these songs.
I know. I can't get enough of them either. It's
Oh,
crazy.
it's a little too much.
But there's these constant segues of the fucking orderlies or EMTs bagging up a body as these 80s music plays and they're lifting a dead body and then it's montage of
Tits and
aerobics.
ass. Let's go to tits and ass. Rhonda says something like way earlier in the movie about Jamie, and she's like, "You need to stop showing your little tits and ass." Something sex.
Just teach a class. Stop showing off your tight. You stop shaking your tits and your tight
Your
little ass.
Yeah, your tight little ass.
ass.
I'm like, everybody is showing their tight little ass and their tits.
What,
like,
what do you expect her to do? That's what she's built for.
That's what she's supposed to
that's what she's
do.
hired to do.
You pay her for that.
She's wearing high-heeled
Yeah,
sneakers.
high heels.
She's wearing high-heeled sneakers. And, like, the spandex is going up her asshole.
Yep.
Oh, the spandex in this is so. Oh,
It's the typical
it's beautiful.
80s thong spandex.
And the super
The
high.
But
leotard.
it's so
waisted.
high on the waist, so it makes the butt long. It makes
Yeah.
it an illusion of being
God.
long.
If you had to go to the bathroom, you had to get completely naked.
I
Like,
can imagine.
Oh yeah, you would have
You
had
had
to.
to
Yeah, you
strip
had
it
to
all
tear
down.
Tear it all off. Jesus. And there's like weird layers to it. Like I don't understand.
It's a great segue, though. I mean, you know, obviously, we're just gonna forget what just happened. Rock and rock.
So after a bit of that, we go to one of the guys who we saw working out earlier, talking about banging the black chick.
Yeah.
And he's on one of the weight machines. He's doing pull downs, and the cable of the weight machine breaks, and the
That
bar
would hurt.
That would hurt, and the bar hits him in the head.
He's pulling down the bar. It snaps loose. It hits him on the head. He's got a little slice on his head.
Yeah, little one. He falls to the floor, gripping his head, rightfully so. That would hurt.
Right.
And after a few seconds of him laying there, he just looks up and he just gets murdered out of nowhere by getting smashed in the face by a large free weight.
By a weight.
By a dumbbell.
Someone
Yeah,
runs
it's a
up with a
dumbbell.
fucking dumbbell and
Wow! Right in the face. It's like, what? This is at night. There's an aerobics class obviously going on. This is like right in the prime, like middle of the afternoon. Everybody's working out in this gym. Runs up and murders this guy.
6 o'clock. Everyone's off of work in the gym working out. His machine breaks. Ow! Opens his eyes and just see this free weight coming for his fucking face. Whap! What a way to go.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
So now that dead guy's buddy, the one he was talking to earlier, he comes out of the locker room now, sees his friend's body on the floor,
yeah.
rushes over to it, where he too is instantly killed via giant safety pin through the forehead.
Right,
one pinpoint, right
one
smack dab in the
strike.
forehead.
He's
It's like it punctures the brain perfectly or
He's
something.
like, hey man, you okay? You okay? He like holds his head and goes, ugh. Looks up. And then whack. Wonk.
Isn't the front of your skull incredibly
hardest part
hard?
of your head.
That's like the hardest part,
That's where
right?
people like tell you the head bump is with like the square part of your
It's
forehead.
incredibly thick.
Yes. My kid has whapped himself in the same spot on his forehead like 100 times, and he's fine.
But
Like,
this little
fucking
safety pin just went right through it.
Why didn't the killer use the weight? I mean, the weight was the
weight makes
dumbbell
sense.
was-
The weight does
yeah,
make
the
sense.
weight
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
And
sense.
it's obviously still right there, but handy within reach.
But
Oh
no,
my-
just steroids,
safety
baby. Who
pin
knows?
is something. A safety pin.
So,
What is the safety pin?
so meanwhile, Chuck now he's snooping around in the men's locker room. He's going through lockers.
Yeah, what the hell?
Everybody
It's the
just-
worst gym
yeah.
ever.
He's
Nobody pretty locks their lockers
quote
either.
unquote mopping. He's like,
This is why they tell you to lock up your shit, people.
no
That's
joke.
the best too, is that he's doing all this maintenance work wearing that same tank
Tank
top,
top, red
Shorts.
shorts, high top tennis shoes. Like he's about to like lift some Olympic weight, but
Yeah.
no,
He's gotta go
he's
get
just gonna
swole- he
mop.
gotta get swole
He's just
on.
gonna mop. He's swole.
I cannot wait for what happens though.
So Jamie now finds Tony bent over the two dead bodies. She screams.
Who's Tony?
Tony's the guy she briefly had an interaction with in the very first scene where she comes into the
He
gym late.
flirted with her.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
like he's such a
So-
secondary tertiary character.
Yeah.
It doesn't really
Here's
matter.
the thing.
He finds the two bodies. He's like, oh no, I found these two bodies. He turns around
And like
she screams.
Yeah, and like a goddamn fucking superhero, Chuck comes running out of the locker room, leaps over a stair railing, and immediately begins beating the shit out of Tony.
The same music starts.
And
again.
I love the
do,
way
do.
Chuck beats down Tony. And
Holy
Tony
shit.
doesn't even try to fight back because that's
He
how
can't.
badass Chuck
He
is.
has no chance.
Because
He has
Chuck-
no chance.
Chuck grabs him by the hair with one hand and then just starts punching him in the face repeatedly with the other one. And you would think that'd be enough
He
after
like
a 5 or
falls to
6
his
punches.
knees.
No.
He's like, whap, whap,
Yeah.
whap.
And okay, 5, 6 punches to the face. You think that'd be enough? Nope. Chuck has to end it by doing a spinning back elbow right to Tony's mush, knocking him
Like he
out.
turns into John Jones and throws a spinning elbow right to his fucking face. He's like, ugh, just devastated him. I mean, the guy's like, huh? Turns around and he sees this fucking Ultimate Warrior running out maniac flying through the air and just starts punching the shit out of him. He didn't have a fucking chance.
He just finds two dead bodies too. He's like, "Oh no!" And then he's like, "I didn't do it." I'm like,
He probably thinks he's gonna get killed.
I know. He's like, "What is happening?" Yeah, right. He's like,
All of a sudden his ass is getting totally kicked. He's probably thinking, "This is it, Mom. I'm done."
So this is how confused I was, though, at this point in the movie. I have in my notes Jimmy. Because I'm like, Jimmy finds 2 dead guys. Like, wait a minute.
No, because they do look so similar.
But
the
then I
difference
realized-
is Tony wears a red tank top.
Okay.
Jimmy wears a black tank top.
That's
how you
it.
tell them
Are they
apart.
the same person?
The only people who change their clothes, I guess, are the girls for different types of spandex.
And even
the
then, he goes
guys,
in the same spandex.
the guys basically wear the same kind of outfits for the most part.
Yeah, they do. So
Oh, God.
we crossfade to the EMTs, again removing the bodies from the gym.
Packing up more bodies.
As Morgan is questioning Chuck. And Chuck's a bit of a smartass with Morgan here, but Morgan, he just ends up leaving. Now, inside the locker room sits a bruised and beaten Tony. Or maybe it's Tommy here, because
Who fucking
it
cares?
says Tony or Tommy. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't fucking matter.
Nope.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
So, yeah, it just like Rock said, it doesn't fucking matter what their name is.
I still have Jimmy.
Thanks, Rock.
Thanks, Rock.
I love Rock. Ah.
In comes Jamie, who decides now is a good time to get her fuck on. And she strips off her spandex and starts fucking Tony, Tommy, whatever, on the locker room bench.
But
with
it's a
a-
nice boob shot.
It is a good
yeah,
boob
Not
shot.
bad.
We did
Speaking
get
of some
good
boobs.
Now, she is Miss San Bernardino.
San Bernardino. And then Jimmy just walks up behind her and slits her throat with a knife.
Well, no, it was.
No, it's Tommy.
It's Tommy. He
It's Tommy
sees
as
himself.
himself.
He's seeing himself.
Yeah.
That's Tommy? No,
Yes!
I'm confused.
Yes!
Is this Inception? What the
I
hell?
thought it was Jimmy that
No.
slits her throat.
No,
No,
he's
it's he sees
seeing-
himself.
he's seeing
Whoever
himself.
it is, he sees
Are you
himself.
serious?
Yes!
I can't believe I thought it was Jimmy.
These guys look so alike.
See?
Because they're both
Vindicated.
black hair, muscular guys.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's him.
Yeah, I thought
He's,
Jimmy's wearing. He came up wearing a black tank
No,
top.
he's doing her.
she's
and
humping
or
him, they're
she's-
humping.
and she's
and
like,
then
she
he
comes down. And
himself.
she's like,
Because-
goodbye, Tommy or Timmy or
Yeah,
Tony or
because
whatever.
she puts
No,
her
it's a
head
dream.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He slits it. He sees himself slit her throat.
Slit her throat. This
Then
is why I was so
he
confused.
starts choking himself.
Yeah, because that's
And-
another reason why. Like, no, because Jimmy starts choking him against
Yeah.
the locker. It's not. There's no way.
No,
he's
No,
choking
it's
him.
him.
it's
because
himself.
it's a dream.
It's
Because
a
the
dream,
cop
he's
comes
doing
over and
it to
goes,
himself.
"Hey,
I know it's a
wake
dream,
up."
but I thought he was dreaming that it was
Nope,
Jimmy.
It was himself.
No,
It was himself.
because this
wow,
is when
mind blown.
This is when I.
Mind blown.
This is
This
when
makes
I
it even
realized.
better now. This is even better.
This is the moment when I actually realized that it is Tommy that's doing it. So it took me
Yeah.
all the way to this point to realize it's
Not
Tommy.
Jimmy.
I thought it was Jimmy. Like,
Oh.
also,
all right.
but I want to say, in the locker room, if he got one hell of a beating from Chuck or whatever, like he got some jujitsu beating, he has 0 black eyes.
He has
zero
he has
bloody
a little
lips.
bit of a black
He's
guy.
got a
A
little scuff.
little.
Barely, but your
But
point
he
is
got
correct. Yeah.
beat the fuck up.
Dude, he throws like 10 punches to the face and a spinning elbow to
He
the.
did 10 punches in like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Should have a broken
It was
nose.
just
Yeah, his face should be mush, and he's got barely a black eye. Like he might have stayed up a little too late on a bender one night. That's basically what he looks like.
He got his ass kicked so hard.
So
it's hard to talk like.
But he,
Oh,
So hard.
I'm
but he
crying
wakes
because of
up in the locker room
Yeah,
because
Morgan-
that's where
Morgan
you
wakes him
keep
up.
suspects. Apparently,
Yeah,
is
he's
in the locker room.
Unconscious without medical attention too. By the way, he probably has a serious concussion. Let him sleep it off.
Liability.
Morgan, wakes him up and tells him to sit tight here. I'm not done with you. And
So-
he leaves the locker. Morgan
So
leaves
he
the locker room.
snaps out of that dream sequence.
right.
Yeah.
And the second Morgan leaves, I mean, the very fucking instant Morgan leaves, the killer pops up, kills Tony with the safety pin to the forehead.
Oh my god!
And I gotta say, it
Again,
is insane
forehead.
how fast this happens. I mean, Morgan is barely even off the
Like
screen.
you see his
No.
foot leaving the frame, and then
and the safety
killer's
pin
in
coming
there.
in.
That's
It's so-
efficiency.
yes. So,
Ninja.
Yeah.
but again, makes no sense because either one, the killer had to be hiding in the locker room this whole time, or he would have passed Morgan coming in because locker rooms normally only have one way in and
Oh,
out.
one way in and out. Yeah.
There's not like occasionally like the Y you might
Well,
go in one
unless you
and
go
out,
to the
leads
pool.
leads out to a pool
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
but still the pool then comes back through the locker room. Like
I kind of dropped my jaw when I saw that too. I'm like, what? Oh, Yeah.
And this leads us
Meh.
to aerobics montage number
more aerobics.
5 or
No.
whatever. I don't know.
Sorry, Sarah.
You know,
There's more.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more. But
Damn
this
it.
one's pretty short, though. This is a pretty short one.
It's like they chose not to show the deaths, but they want to distract you with something. So, like, let's show.
It's like we
this,
can't.
like,
Our special effects suck. Come on, guys. Seriously, our specs suck, and our killer is using a safety pin. What are we gonna show them? Fuck it. Just show them more
Tits
tits
and
and ass.
ass.
Just fill with more aerobics.
Sweaty women
Gotta
jumping
work
around.
out, gotta work out, gotta work out. Animal workout.
Animal workout.
I just learned that.
So we go to Rhonda, who's in her office opening mail with a fucking small sword of a letter opener.
Dude, it's a serpent. It's like a cobra head
Holy
that wraps
crap.
around the back of her hand.
Yeah.
And the other part, the tail, I guess, would be the handle
With a
into,
blade.
into a
Yeah.
blade.
Yeah, it's huge.
Fucking sweet.
It is
She has
sweet, but
serious
it's
mail.
big.
It's huge.
and-
She's opening mail with it.
Opening
to
mail.
which Morgan comes in. You look pretty handy with that.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
doing
exactly.
pretty
More,
good.
and we get another scene of exquisite acting and writing
my
here.
God.
It's so good.
Dude, Morgan kind of looks like a human version of the Thing from Fantastic
Oh,
Four.
yeah.
His head just looks so big and blocky, and like weird chunks of his face kind of look like rocks. He's a weird looking guy.
You're right. That's a good compare. He really kind of
Yeah.
does.
Huh.
So Morgan leaves, but he leaves behind a uniformed cop. He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna watch over the gym and keep an eye
Barney
on
Fife.
Rhonda."
This is the Barney Fife.
Barney Fife,
the
yeah.
Barney Fife looking
And
motherfucker.
Morgan's like,
Exactly.
check in every hour, which, by the way, never happens.
Which his hat is so big on his head. It makes his head look so small.
yeah, it does have a really giant
It
hat on.
just looks like this Poindexter Pee-wee.
It's also-
You got it, buddy. You
It's
know.
also a very weird place that they're at. There's like some stairs.
Yeah, the
This
gym
whole
setup. The
thing-
gym looks more like somebody's house than like
Yeah,
an actual
this is a
gym.
very
Yeah.
strange
It's
setup.
a weird gym.
Good point. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
So we get a quick shot of Jimmy like just angry lifting, like he is these pissed off roid rage lifting.
Holy shit!
Like I was scared watching this. Like, oh god, this guy's gonna hurt me. like what is happening?
Is the most intense scene in the whole movie.
It is.
It's
sad.
so
That is so
bonkers.
sad.
It's dark. There's no lights on.
Yeah, he's lifting
Yeah.
weights in the dark.
In the dark. There's just like some light, like from a window, I guess, on his body. He's shirtless. He's got no shirt on as he's lifting a decent amount of weight. He's doing like, he's got 45s on each side with a bar is 45, so that's 135 pounds. And okay, you're thinking, okay, it's not that much. But it's the speed he's lifting
Dude,
it at.
it's
Whoa,
like,
goes on, I'm like, "Ah!" I'm fucking scared.
I know. I was too like, Jesus Christ, this guy.
I was like, that's bad form. Like, what the hell?
But it is bad for him, but he's going for speed.
Yeah.
He's going to distance.
He's
He's going for speed.
He's like cakes on.
Like this is the type of shit like like I'm expecting like, as soon as he's done, he's gonna go grab a gun, this guy go shoot up a mall or something.
Yeah,
Like, it's like
just
Yeah.
jump up after he's done and like run through the wall.
yeah,
or
like
something.
Kool-Aid Man style.
Like he's so
Shoot
intense.
some more roids up his ass and
So intense.
so jeez, yeah, it's fucking
Jesus.
scary. And then we see, then we get a cut to Chuck now sneaking into somebody's house, snooping
Oh my
around
God,
with
what
a
is
flashlight.
his deal?
This time though, he's still wearing his trademark blue tank top muscle shirt, but he has decided to put on some tight jeans and a trucker cap.
A
He's wearing-
sweet,
he's wearing-
huge ass truck.
It's a giant trucker cap, but like it's barely even on his head. It's like it's just kind of sitting on top of his mullety
So
hair.
big, and I don't know what it says.
I don't know what
He's
it says either.
incognito.
I tried reading
That's
it.
for sure.
I tried reading it a few times.
I can't make it out either.
Is this his disguise?
Yeah.
Is
You know, yeah, because that some bitch, he wants to fit right in. Like he just doesn't. Like it's not weird. It's not weird at
He
all.
should have like Groucho glasses.
the fake mustache
mustache.
and little cigar sticking out.
Everything's normal here. Everything's fine.
It's unrecognizable in those little shorts and muscle tank top.
But he's still wearing the tank top.
I know, but everyone's gonna think, oh, it must be someone different.
Because I'm not wearing my red shorts
Chuck never wears a hat.
or pants. So we get more angry Jimmy lifting weight.
Which is, again,
It's
terrifying.
scary. It's terrifying.
It's the scariest thing in the movie.
It is.
honestly.
It really is. I totally agree with you. Chuck enters the room, finds a desk covered in guns ammo, and the walls are covered. And they have like several black and white pictures of Jimmy and Rhonda taped to it.
Like headshots.
Yeah, like headshots and stuff like that.
But this is like an NRA member's wet dream.
It really is.
Like so many guns.
There's a lot of ammo.
A lot of pistols and ammo just sitting
like
around.
Individual bullets, different types of bullets.
The cases of bullets and the
all
case,
kinds of different guns laying around. I'm like, Jesus.
He's into weaponry.
And like speed lifting.
Bench pressing.
So now we cut to a woman swimming in her pool at night, and she's being watched and spied on by not just one guy, but two different people.
She's so lucky.
We see
I think
both
that gets joke of the day so far.
that or hashtag Me Too or whatever. It was.
Sarah's killing it.
Seriously.
Sorry, guys.
We see both
These
Chuck
years.
and Jimmy hide in the bushes while spying on her.
God.
And of course, did you notice the way she's swimming? As fast as she fucking can.
Yeah.
She's
doing laps.
Splash,
She's
splash, splash,
lap
splash,
swimming.
She
But
doesn't get her workout in at work.
Well,
I mean,
she did 3 or 4 laps as fast as she fucking could. And I don't know if you guys have swam as fast as you fucking could before.
It sucks.
It's exhausting.
It is.
Oh my god. She like takes a break after 4 intensely intense laps.
So
That's all the way these people work out. It's as
here's
hard
the best
as they
thing.
can.
Well, not the best thing, but Chuck. We see he's now lost a trucker cap. That's gone,
Oh,
but
yeah.
he's gained the members only jacket,
Yes.
which has come out of nowhere now. He didn't have that on earlier, but he has it on now.
Was it blue?
No, it's like gray.
No,
Okay.
it's like
It's
a
great.
gray, yeah.
It's a great one. And but Jimmy then spots Chuck, yanks Chuck out from his hiding place behind the bush. And
He's like, I see you.
again, the two of them fight.
Holy shit.
And the bass riff is back. Like this,
Yeah.
it's like a total like bow 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 bow
Yeah.
bow bow.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
total
yeah.
bass riff.
Hearing the fighting, the woman turns around. And it turns out it's Rhonda now.
Oh,
So
Rhonda.
Rhonda, she gets out of the pool. She rushes inside. Now this fight. This fucking
Street
fight
Fighter.
is awesome in the
awesome.
shittiest possible way, though. It's also long.
I wish
Very long.
we always were video. We
Oh,
could
God,
show
show
you
it.
this fight.
At
It is
one
very
point, I
long.
thought this was going to turn into an ECW hardcore match
Yeah.
because they're bringing out trash cans and rakes and all sorts of
Oh,
shit.
the rake.
But
I mean, Jimmy gets stabbed in the leg with
So-
all the
With it.
prongs of the rake.
Let's just kind of break it down. They're fighting. It's
Yeah.
kind of back and forth. There's spin kicks and jabs.
Yeah, more kung
and
fu.
throws
Rhonda
and
is out, by the way.
slams.
She like noticed what's going on.
But
She's
it comes
out.
down to a rake, and Chuck has a rake, and he throws he swings the rake, whack, right into Jimmy's leg. And there's a moment where
That would
Jim
hurt.
it just stops.
Oh, that would
And
hurt.
Jimmy looks up, and he fucking hulks
Yes,
out.
like this would slow anybody down.
But it was like it was a moment.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
because
God, your
it's
quad.
intense,
It's
it's
distinct.
intense.
Oh,
intense.
it's a very
And
distinct
then he
moment.
throws it, he swings it, and it hits him in the leg.
Ouch.
And then whack, the whole rake, all teeth are plunged into his thigh.
Yes.
On the side of his thigh, and then it just stops. And Jimmy just stops and looks up like, oh, no, you didn't.
You're done fucked up now, son. Because fuck yeah, if it doesn't fucking slow Jimmy down, he pulls the rake out and just like tosses it to his
Yep.
side like nothing happened. And that's when, okay, first of all, he's just been stabbed in the leg with all the teeth of a metal rake. And now it
cares?
does not slow him down.
cares?
He picks up the pace. He starts doing leaping Van Damme
Spin
spin
kicks.
kicks. And my personal favorite now move is when he grabs Chuck's arm mid-punch, holds it, and then starts going back and forth, kicking Chuck between the stomach and the face. Repeatedly face, stomach, all the while still holding on to Chuck's hand up in the air. And then which this sets up the big finishing move of this super leaping, spinning roundhouse kick in slow motion that sends Chuck flying into the pool. Dude, it is the most incredible fight.
We could talk about this fight for an hour. I'm
We
sure.
easily could.
Because there's great scenes where he just like gets him on the stomach, goes bah, 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 on the stomach, elbows and throwing and trash can and smashing. It's awesome.
This
This fight scene is so awesome.
It's like Walker, Texas Ranger.
It's Chuck
on
Norris.
steroids.
No, it's
On steroids. Right. But not as good. Right.
Yes. So now we cut to Chuck. He's waking up on the couch in Rhonda's house.
He got the shit beat out of him.
With Rhonda,
so he's waking up now.
Rhonda's tending to his wound with like a wet rag, and Morgan is sitting in a chair across.
And Morgan's there all of a sudden.
Yeah, Morgan's just sitting there. And this is where we find out that Chuck's real name, Chuck Dawson, his real name is Charlie Dawson.
Oh.
And that he's really
Chuck Dawson.
and he's really a private investigator.
That's a nickname.
Which is really my nose. Like, really? He's a PI. His real name is Charlie Dawson, and the best alias he come up with is Chuck Dawson. What a fucking idiot.
My name is Christopher Dawson. I'm going to pose as Chris.
It's totally different. It's totally different.
How lazy of a writer is that?
I'm William Dawson. I'm going to be Bill.
So Chuck comes clean about his background, saying that Rhonda's partner flew him in the morning after the first girl got
this
dusted.
partner?
Yeah,
Who
we
is this
we never
partner?
see the
It's
partner.
we don't know.
the silent
Mr.
partner.
Erickson,
Silent
the
partner.
silent partner.
It's a gym.
Yeah,
It's like a storefront.
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
cares?
It's
like
a mini mall storefront gym.
It's not even
It's
a
like
strip
a
mall. It's like packed on some
small business.
It's a
Like-
small business. Silent partner, my ass.
what are they doing out of that
I
gym?
don't know. Yeah.
Selling roids.
So that's the real business. Mr. Erickson's the drug. He's the kingpin, getting those drugs going in
He's
and
the
out.
silent partner. He's the one like shipping him drugs. Like, give it to Jimmy. He fucking loves these. He's my best client.
But he's sampling too much of my stash.
Yeah, no shit. Fucking Rick in the leg doesn't slow him down. He's fucking benching in the dark.
So yeah, but he's like, yeah, I was hired here after the first girl got dusted, which is what he says instead of being
Right.
killed, which is a great '80s thing to say too. Wanted him to check things out. He tells Rhonda that he was here tonight to save her from Jimmy. And with that, he pulls out a stack of pictures from his jeans pocket, which, by the way,
Oh, God.
these pictures are completely dry and unruined, even though he was just kicked into a pool
He was in
and
the
his
pool.
hair's still wet.
Yeah, he's in the pool.
Spin kicked.
Spin kicked into a pool.
Leaping spin kick in
These
slow motion.
fucking old pictures
Tornado kick.
are perfectly fine and dry. Yeah, tornado kick.
Yeah, that's a good 80s term. Tornado kick.
Taekwondo.
And Chuck tells him that he found all these pictures at Jimmy's place. Morgan's like says some more tries to be tough guy cop bullshit. He's like, you better leave here. I want you gone first thing in the morning. You're back to San Francisco.
I feel
first flight or
so
something.
bad for Morgan because he's, kind of like the older, grizzled, tough cop attitude. But he's next to these fucking jacked monsters.
Right.
He just, like, Chuck is ripped. Jimmy is ripped. Everyone's just ripped. And he's like a decent sized guy, but he just looks so
He's like
shitty in
He's like-
comparison.
So we cut back to the uniformed cop sitting in the gym drinking coffee, where a pair of women are changing clothes in the locker room. One of the women is blonde. She says that she's leaving the gym. I'm getting out of here, and she warns the other girl that you should too before it's too late because I'm out of here. I'm not coming here anymore. Because
Finally, one member is like,
I didn't know that later, but yeah. But first she wants to say goodbye to Jamie before she leaves. So Jamie, she's in the aerobics classroom. Someone turns the lights off on her. The blonde girls walk through the gym. She finds Jamie's bag on the floor. She opens the door in front of her, and out swings Jamie's dead body hanging from a noose. So what?
Well, we see Jamie in there, and she's like, "Hello," and it seems like not a lot of time between her being in there and then her being
That's what I'm
hung
saying.
up on
It
a noose.
happens like instantaneously. It's like we don't even see like the killer approach. She's like, "Hello," hanging from a noose. All of a sudden, it's like,
Yeah.
what? Like and she's like fucking Diane, who's a minor fucking character, got more of a death screen time than
Yeah.
Jamie,
Yes.
who's basically like the second leading
Female role,
character in this movie. Like, I felt gypped. Really, I was mad at this. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
She should have gotten more like respectful death scene,
Exactly.
or something.
They could have done so much more with her death scene. Like,
Yeah.
she was such a bigger, I guess,
Yeah,
character.
I totally
but
agree.
Other than Rhonda,
Yeah.
she's the biggest character, like female character in the movie.
Yeah,
It's just another weak death.
it was a weak death.
Weak.
I wish they could have at least showed her being strangled
Fucking
or something
Curtis,
like that.
a one and done guy, got more of a screen better death, and he was he came in out of nowhere, died instantly. Like he got better, more respectable death than Jamie did. It's bullshit.
Although when she was swinging, you could tell she's standing there just going, moving back and forth.
Swing.
I did like she hasn't been hanging there that long, but her face, they like painted her face like gray.
Totally
like,
black.
just totally gray.
She looks like a zombie from Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
or
and
something.
she's so they overdid her death makeup a bit there. So now we cut to the cop walking down the hallway. He walks up to the blonde girl who we just saw, who is also now dead on the floor, having been stabbed in the face.
I get.
I'm like, why? When did all this happen?
But she just has some blood, like fake blood on her face.
Yeah.
It's like, so you don't even.
He doesn't even check for a pulse or anything.
Nothing.
You don't get to see what happened if it's like, but it's like this cop's like, oh, dang. I'm going to get in trouble for this.
Sure enough.
I'm going to get written up for this. This is just not my day.
It's just such bullshit. He had both these women back to back dead. With like no explanation, just live dead.
You think this would be the final straw?
Yeah,
right.
To close this place down.
You would think so.
You would think.
But the next morning, we see Chuck breaking into Rhonda's workout.
Right.
He gets interrupted by Morgan. Now, Morgan tosses Chuck the keys to the gym and then goes to his car to answer his radio, which HQ tells him he needs to come see something.
You need to get down
So
here.
he drives off. So I'm like, let me get this straight.
Right.
The badass, I play by my own rules, cop who just ordered Chuck to leave on a flight first thing in the morning catches Chuck breaking into the crime scene
Breaking and entering.
That's normal.
of several murders, but instead
normal.
of stopping him, he just like, hey, here's the keys, and then leaves.
It's easy to do that if you had the keys, kid. And he's like,
There you go.
And these two have been
There
like
you
butting heads
go.
all
yeah.
movie.
And that's like his diss. He's like, I have the keys. Like, what?
What?
So we don't even see what happens because now he breaks in, or he's going to break into the work,
Right.
the gym, which so you would think would be closed, right?
He's
but
at,
the very next scene is aerobics montage
Yes!
number 6. I think.
No more.
I've lost count.
That's
so
what
that
I'm
means
like-
there's like people already in there working out, and he's trying to break in.
You'd think after the 4th or 5th murder inside this place, they would shut it down.
Exactly. How the blue fuck is this place still open, and why are there so many people still coming to this gym after like 6 people have been murdered
And
here?
it's not like mystery murders. It's not like Death Spa where there was like, someone who...
accidents. It's
Right.
like, all right,
They-
or
crazy
accidents,
things were
or they
happening.
died in that weird basement.
yeah,
Like,
or
area.
the sauna
Where
accident,
that
diving
girl
board
was
accident.
like melted by acid, like, oh, it still hurts. Like,
Again, let's go watch that
Yeah,
movie.
let's go. No, you're right. These are straight up murders.
because
Yeah,
we
these are
see the
murders.
cool fucking EMTs zip him up, take him out, and then montage.
So yeah, it's
But Rhonda is also pretty adamant about not wanting to close. She's like, I'm not going to close because my partner, we can't close. Again, it's just a cover up for
like 6 or 7
drugs.
fucking murders at this place.
so. Anyway, we get another short montage of aerobics. This one features the theme song "Aerobicide," which I can play again if you want, but it's a short clip. I also played it at the opening of the episode.
Yeah.
So
We'll spare you.
fuck that. We're gonna play it again.
Working out until you die. It's the perfect body you're trying to find.
I forgot about that.
So there's
Swing the
aerobicide.
Swing the hips. Swing the hips.
All right, so anyway, this montage, it's short, but it is all close-ups of ass and titties. Like there is no full body shots in this one. It's
Nope.
just ass tits in your face.
Dude, I think they're trying to get like vagina shots.
Oh
again.
yeah,
yeah,
it's
a
just
lot
like
of cross
These girls are
shots.
just
shots.
humping. Like that's how they work out. It's like thrust.
But this
thrust.
is where I noticed they made a major fuck up in the montage for this one because they just like decided they just didn't give a shit anymore in this movie because this is in this class is apparently being led by a zombie, Because several times during the montage, we clearly see Jamie leading the class who had just died.
I didn't.
And in the background, Diane. They just said, we don't give a fuck anymore. Just throw it in there.
More ass and tits right now. Make it happen.
We need Miss San Bernardino featured at least 12 times in spandex.
Outside, Chuck's walking down an alley carrying a giant suitcase now, or for some reason, which I don't know why is a suitcase.
Well, he did say he had to grab a few more
A
things.
few things. Yeah, you think maybe come out like a gym bag? That would make sense.
He's
But
worked
it's
there
a
for like a
fucking
week.
Suitcase.
He's
Yeah.
worked there
We've
for a
seen the
week.
size of his shorts
Yeah, they're tiny.
and the size of his shirts.
You can't keep anything in there. I mean, they're just
Wears.
like,
Right, I think he has no pocket, but a gym bag would make sense. He comes out like a fucking suitcase, like he's going on a European trip.
He
He had like a
enjoys
plastic
cologne.
grocery bag and pack up his stuff in there.
Yeah.
Like 2 days worth or 3 days worth.
he likes to shave and cologne.
So out comes Jimmy speeding towards Chuck in his Mustang. He's trying to run Chuck over. Chuck pulls out a gun now from his tiny booty
Which
shorts.
he got from Jimmy's house, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he pulls
Did
it.
he
'cause-
take a gun?
Yeah, because when he goes,
I didn't think. I was like, oh, he's a PA. He might be his own
no,
gun. I
when
didn't think
he
about
walks
that.
into that, when he walks into Jimmy's house, he like
steals
looks
a gun.
over and sees a gun hanging from like in a holster
Like
off of a thing,
fucking
and he's like,
Texas
"Ugh."
Ranger
Yeah.
holster.
And he just grabs it right out. He's like, "Yep," and he shoves it in his
does.
pants.
He does.
He's like, "I'll just take this."
Okay,
This is
just
mine
throws it
now.
All right, I'll take.
So-
that's fine. My only question is, he pulls out his fucking tiny ass gym shorts again. Like, where
Yeah,
did this gun
those are
come
not
from?
Well, the
supportive.
funny
Those
thing
are not
is,
supportive.
You have a fucking Mustang from the 80s. You know this thing is made of
Sweet. It was
steel
sweet.
Yeah.
and strong metal, and it's speeding at you. You have a fucking, 38 in your hand?
Who
and,
knows?
Like, you have enough time to maybe get off one shot?
Yeah, he fires like 2 or 3 shots at
And
best.
guess which one wins?
Yeah, the gun don't help because Chuck gets fucking plowed by Jimmy's car.
Fucking car
Chuck
smashes
flies up
Chuck.
into the air, flies over the hood, crashes down on the pavement. Jimmy gets out of the car, stands over the bloody but still alive Chuck, and gives him the good old double axe handle to finish him off. Like, I loved it. I was like, really? You're not gonna just like stomp on him or kill?
Nope.
Like, it's seriously, if wrestling fans, it's the old double axe handle downward.
Did he have a ice pick?
No,
No.
it's just barehanded double axe handle to the face, I guess. That was it. And
Wow.
that's the last we
That's
see of
how he,
Chuck.
I thought he had an ice pick. I was
No.
like, what
No.
the fuck did he have
Come
an
on,
ice pick?
Jimmy Roids, he's bare-fisted, man.
That's true. The double axe handle finish.
Double axe handle finish to the
The,
face.
like
Yep.
Captain Kirk demolition
Captain
style.
Kirk?
Captain Kirk used to do double axe
But
handle
yeah, but
quite a
like
bit.
Bret Hart demolition off the top rope.
On the
and
top
double axe
handle, and
to the
double
back
axe
of the
handle.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Double axe handle is how Chuck goes out.
That's it.
So my mind must have played tricks on me and said, no, he just didn't do a double axe. He had an ice pick.
Nope.
Sure, he had an ice pick.
No,
No,
it
apparently-
wasn't that good. It wasn't that good.
I can't believe it. Because
Really?
I saw it plain
Really?
as day.
I mean,
And
it's
I'm
the end
like,
of the movie.
We'll all
We're-
get our minds blown. I kept on about the
Yeah.
dream signature, keep blown out about the double axe handle. And we cut to a bald woman with a fucked up head
Oh my god.
sitting at a vanity putting on a wig. Morgan rings her doorbell. She turns around and it turns out it's Rhonda.
Huh.
Bum, bum.
Yeah. She gets up to answer the door. She lets Morgan in. He calls her Valerie and tells her to have a seat. And he tells her that he's figured it all out. He lays it all out for us here. He explains that all the victims were beautiful young women with perfect bodies, just like Valerie had years ago. And Valerie, who was going to be the next mega supermodel
Mega supermodel of
until
the
the
world.
tanning
She
bed
had one
accident.
job. What the fuck?
One cover shoot, yeah, the best.
Until a
Tanning bed accident.
She's not a Playboy model.
No.
Like, she wasn't living in the freaking mansion.
No, and she's no Cindy Crawford or
No.
Claudia Schiffer or anything like that. She's just, yeah.
She was on her way, though.
She was until that unfortunate
Tanning
That
bed
unfortunate
accident.
accident.
Rana gets all pissed off, and in a rage, she stands up and shouts, "Wait, what? This is what you want to see? You want to see this?" And with that, she unzips her jacket, flings it open to reveal that her body and her tits are just horribly burnt. But
love that scene so much.
What
Is this what you
happened?
want to see? It rips open her top, and it's just oatmeal covered titties.
yes, her makeup effects just look like peach yogurt that just smeared on her and left to dry.
It's terrible.
It's all.
Peach yogurt.
That's a weird one. I thought oatmeal was weird, but you went peach
It's a
yogurt.
little more oatmeal, I think. I don't
I don't know. I went peach yogurt, like dry, crusty peach yogurt.
Sarah, you got one? You got a weird
No.
creamy food?
No.
Maybe grits. Who knows?
But it is so bad. It's
Tan.
It's so
it's very
bad.
tan, though.
It's
I
Well,
mean,
if
like,
she did
it's
get
not.
tan in that accident. the tanning
really
bed
burnt.
worked. She got her tan.
She fucking got what she paid for. She got second sun tan.
So Rhonda says,
God.
so
You may
what?
be scarred for life, but we're gonna make sure you're tan.
Tan forever.
So she's like, so what? You found out my secret, but that doesn't mean I killed anyone. Morgan counter saying, I think it does. I think you just couldn't handle being around all those young, beautiful bodies, knowing you have to spend a lifetime hiding yours, knowing that any man would get sick if he tried to
you're
make
right.
love to
Sick
you.
and disgusted
He'd be
by
totally
making love.
disgusted.
Disgusted?
I'm sorry, it's too much.
Have another beer. But it's
I
true.
will.
It's just like this guy just starts saying, "You're so fucking hideous.
You're hideous. You're
no man
gross.
would want to even touch you with his dick.
You're
And
unlovable. You're not even fuckable.
You couldn't take seeing all those hard little tits and ass walking around, and you went crazy and killed them."
That, exactly.
I mean, that's good.
And I'm like,
I mean,
but I'm like, wow, that's an incredible leap.
Yeah.
He's got no evidence other
No.
than
No evidence.
he learned her identity.
Exactly.
Because she was horribly scarred and wanted to change her name. I don't think it's that big a deal.
No, not that big a
But
deal
nope,
either.
that he's basing his entire case
No,
on it.
she calls him a bastard, rightfully so. At
right?
this point.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He slaps the cuffs on her, takes her out to his car. But right before he drives off, he gets a radio call saying that Chuck is dead, same MO as the other victims, and that they have witnesses saying it was Jimmy who's still on the loose. So he lets, Rhonda's all smirky about it. Like,
Rhonda puts her cuffs forward like, let me go,
Just
motherfucker.
let me go.
And I wish to God, which would be pretty funny, is when Rhonda flashed her oatmeal or peach cobbler covered
Peach
tits.
cobbler,
or
that's
whatever.
better. Oh, because it's kind of burnt. Peach cobbler, it's a little bit like.
And he just went, "Ah!" Ah!
So we cut to Jimmy driving up to his house. He gets out of his car. Morgan pops up from fucking nowhere. He's like, freeze,
I know.
God.
It's like,
Dude, what? How'd you get there so fast?
this is the best. He's limping.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it is-
Jimmy's limping.
It's a very exaggerated limp.
yeah.
He's because he got the rake in the leg from the fight
Yeah,
with
I
Chuck.
guess the PCP steroid cocktail is
Maybe
wearing
it's
off.
wearing off.
a
I don't
little
know.
bit as he's limping, and then Morgan
Jimmy's like-
freeze, tough guy.
And Jimmy's like, oh, fuck that. He takes off sprinting.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
limp doesn't seem to matter anymore.
Fuck that limp.
Fucking jackrabbited out of there.
This is when it's like a throwback to an
Yes.
80s
This is where
like
Hunter comes in.
detective
Yeah, this is where
Hunter
it becomes
show.
an action
like,
movie.
This is where it becomes an episode of
totally
Hunter.
switches over.
Because Morgan gives chase, and this chase goes on for a while.
They're running so long,
They've had to run miles.
and they're
'cause-
sprinting.
yeah. They've had to go
pretty
miles because they
impressive.
end up at some kind of like industrial factory.
Yeah,
It looks
where
like
are
it,
they?
like it makes bricks or concrete or something
Right.
like
It
that.
looks like they're making cinder blocks,
and brick, all
different
sorts
types
like
of bricks,
bricks and concrete blocks.
pavers, maybe.
Yeah,
And
because there's tons of like dirt piles and conveyor belts and like stacks of bricks.
But I
and
love
crates.
how Jimmy runs up to a 12-foot barbed wire fence, and he's like,
And he's like,
"Fuck it!" And
I'm
just-
doing it.
And he fucking goes over it like a goddamn champ.
Yeah, he does.
And they show him like
You
scale
say
it.
champ or chimp because
Champ.
either one would work.
Both.
Like
Like championship.
Like a champion chimp. It was very impressive because he's a big dude.
It is. I was impressed by that too. Like fuck barbed wire.
Yeah.
His hands don't give a shit now either. Apparently.
And he just fuck the barbed wire, just over it.
the wound in the leg doesn't fucking matter
And
anymore
Morgan,
either.
being the beta, but still wants to be an alpha. He's like, I can do it too.
No,
But
no, it's not
they
as
don't
good.
show. They don't
Nope.
actually show him scale it the way they show you.
He starts. They show him. He starts.
They show him start,
but
but
then
they show him on the other side.
He walks up and they show him go. Like when he shows up there, like, God damn it.
Because they showed Jimmy scale that fucking fence the entire way, and I was really impressed.
So Jimmy hides, and then he pulls out a gun too. hoping that they get the drop on Morgan. But
What kind of gun does he pull out?
It's a giant fucking hand cannon.
It
too.
It's a
is
fucking
huge.
45 Magnum.
Oh my
fucking
god.
dirty, hairy style gun.
Totally.
It's so big.
Yeah.
It's so big. This guy has so many issues. It's got to be penis size. Man. He works out like a maniac.
Man. It's
Yeah,
shrinking his
I mean,
He
balls,
works
man.
out like a maniac. He drives a Mustang. He has the biggest handgun you could possibly purchase.
Steroids are a thing. I mean, steroids do that. It's like
Don't do
all the-
steroids, kids.
Yeah, don't do steroids. Like-
Turn into Jimmy. Don't do it.
So anyway, Jimmy has to drop Morgan, but Morgan hears the cocking of Jimmy's gun, and he's able to like quickly spin around and get a pop shot off at Jimmy.
Wow.
They exchange some gunfire before Jimmy runs off again, and the chase is back on.
It's a long chase, long cat and mouse.
Now
coming.
at this
I
point,
fell asleep.
something weird. I know something
It was
weird
hard.
happened to the
No, you
video
didn't.
here.
You're wide awake,
No,
right?
I was totally
Now,
awake.
keep in mind, we're watching this
I loved it.
digitally. We're just a digital stream on Amazon, but I found it weird. It's just a weird.
Yeah.
But the video starts getting those old fuzzy VHS,
VHS
lines.
lines.
Like the time you have to go in and adjust the tracking dial.
Yes.
Which I found so weird because this is a digital streaming. Why am I getting the VHS tracking lines on this? It was
That
so
happened a
weird.
few times.
But this is where it
did.
first starts.
Yeah.
This is where it first starts.
Well,
and
it
gets
happened a
worse from
little
here
bit
on out.
here and there, but this is when it got bad.
It got really bad, and
Yeah.
it kind of. I don't know. It was kind of a little nostalgic for
Yeah,
me.
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
oh.
"Oh,
For
remember?"
me too, I was like,
remember back
"Oh,
then?"
this is
Remember
when my
that?
dad would start swearing at the
I know at the
VCR.
TV, like, why?
And then like tracking.
Yeah, but I just found it so weird because this is digital. Like I've never. So anyway,
So someone had a VHS copy of this
Right.
movie.
I guess like the original.
Probably one of
print.
the only master copies is some VHS. And when they digitally copied it to a digital format, it started fucking up.
It took
And
the
they're
whole
like,
thing.
oh shit.
That's a piece of history. I
Yeah,
mean, really,
kind
this
of
is
is. It's kinda like-
historical.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you've never seen what we're talking about, kids, and you want to watch this movie, you'll see what it was
You
like
wanna see
watching
what
movies in the
you wanna
80s. It's
see
like.
why your grandpa would swear about tracking. Here it is.
So Jimmy and Morgan play cat and mouse amongst the maze of concrete blocks. But
Morgan gets a drop on Jimmy.
Morgan
Right.
finally gets Jimmy, grabs him. Morgan like demands to know why Jimmy killed Chuck, and he goes like, I know Ron's behind this. Why are you setting yourself up to take the fall? Tell me, blah blah blah. Why?
That's kind of how it was.
Did
That's
you just
pretty
do the dog fight?
I did do dogfight.
Oh, God.
Nobody will get that reference.
No one will get that reference.
Nobody will get that.
Nobody will get that reference.
Nobody. Except for you. So that's the only reason I did.
I
Yeah, I
did
don't
like
know.
that.
Jimmy throws Morgan to the ground, kicks him in the face,
Dude,
knocking him out cold.
This is so ridiculous. I hate this so much in movies.
I hated it too.
Bullets come out of guns. You don't need to put it to their neck
Nope.
and say,
Nope.
tell me where, blah, 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 whatever you want to know. You can take a few steps back,
Yeah.
and you're still going to be
You're
just
still
as
gonna
effective.
be fine. Yeah.
Just as effective. In fact, you can walk by 10 feet. I can be really far away as long as I got you pretty on the dead to rights. Yeah. That's what guns are for. You don't need to stab someone with a gun because
It's
Jimmy.
not a bayonet.
Yeah. Jimmy overpowers him and
Yeah.
beats the shit out of Morgan.
He kicks him in the face, knocks him out cold.
Of course
more,
he does.
more fucking kicks.
Jiu-jitsu.
And we cut to Rhonda sitting in her office at the gym. She picks up a hand mirror, looks at herself in it before smashing it against the wall, kind of like Joker style from Batman.
Yeah, sweet.
Next, we see her wearing a short, silky robe in the locker room. She's standing in front of an open locker. She tosses her wig into the locker, closes it, then goes to get in the shower. Jimmy shows up, limps his way through the
limping.
gym. Yeah, now he's limping again. He enters the locker room. Rhonda gets out of the shower, walks naked to the locker. The
With her
burn
oatmeal
makeup
boots.
still
Oh,
looking
totally.
awful, like, just really, really bad
Her
still.
peach cobbler
Peach
move.
cobbler.
I think we're gonna. I think peach
I
cobbler
think I
wins.
win. Yeah, I think I
Cobbler.
win.
Yeah.
Nah, I
Sarah's
vote
3 for
that,
3.
yes.
So Jimmy, he's just watching her for a few moments again, as he always does, as she puts her wig back on. But that's when Jimmy turns the lights on in the locker room, startling Rhonda. But this is what I made, because this is what you're talking about with Morgan. But he seeing her burnt body, Jimmy kind of does. He kind of goes, oh! He kind of jumps in shock. He's like, oh! He does do that a little bit. I'm like, oh my god.
He's like, I love you.
I love you. Yeah.
Don't
Question
love
mark?
peach cobbler though.
I don't know.
But and this
I didn't
and it's funny you said the same thing about Jimmy's again because I wrote exactly my notes right here. This is where Rhonda pulls out a fucking dirty hairy hand cannon
my
out of her
God.
locker now.
So they have matching guns.
Maybe he borrowed that as a Christmas, like
Maybe.
as like
An homage,
a poorly thought out Valentine's Day
Yeah.
gift. We have matching revolvers, hand cannons. Anyway, Ryan just unloads it into Jimmy. Just bam, 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 bam.
She ain't having that.
He drops. So she goes up to him, and as he's dying, she asks him why he killed Chuck, and Jimmy says he did it because he loves her,
'Cause I love
and that
you.
he couldn't let them catch her. With that, Rhonda raises the gun up and shoots him one last time, killing Jimmy. Blackout.
So
What a cold-hearted bitch.
no shit.
Not even a thank you or, you know what? I know you love me
I
or
mean,
something.
yeah,
Like,
you
nothing,
did a
just-
good job.
just
Yeah.
Bam.
Nope.
I know.
Fuck
just
you.
like I was trying to cover for you because I know you're the killer, but I love you. And she's like, nah.
Like,
Nah.
you saw my peach cobbler.
You saw my Cajun
Well,
body.
but maybe
You saw my
she-
cobbler body.
And you jumped at it. You know, you did the I
maybe
don't know.
no, but
wouldn't?
maybe she guessed that he had like a small penis because of the car and all the other things like the
She
big
don't want
gun.
no short dick man.
Yeah,
If I
she
remember
don't
that
want no
song?
short,
Remember
short.
that song?
Teeny weeny, itty bitty little.
short.
Polka
man.
dot bikini? No. Short- I
That's
don't
how it
want-
went. Yeah.
God, that song, I can't believe that we got played on the radio in the 90s.
Right.
Like,
I can. The
really?
90s.
You going around saying you don't want to shout. But anyway. So we black out. Jimmy's dead. We black out.
Yep.
We fade in on Rhonda and Morgan now driving his new rental car, which is even shittier than his other car, I think.
Dude, it was a fucking
like
crazy
hatchback.
Toyota Corolla
Yeah, like a little hatchback.
from like the first year it was released in the States or
man.
something.
Yeah.
I love my Toyota.
And they're driving out in the middle of
I
nowhere.
loved my Toyota when I had one.
And she's talking about how this isn't a proper police car and that she was about to meet someone important for lunch when
Yeah.
she showed up and dragged her away on what so-called important police business.
He's walking.
Which is bullshit.
We're not even there yet.
Yeah,
The car pulls over, they get out, and Morgan dips a shovel out of the back seat and leads her off some dirt trail out into like the woods.
out into the woods. But
this is
he's
bullshit.
leading.
He's
and
leading.
She's following.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
Like what?
Absolutely
Why are you going
not.
along with this? Why are you just turning to walk the other way, get in the car, and drive off? But they walk for some distance before. Finally, Rhonda gets fed up and is like, "What's going on?" Like now you get
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah.
You passed that mile marker a long time ago.
This is some Sopranos bullshit.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it really is. So Morgan stops, sticks the shovel into the ground, and he starts his monologue here.
Oh god.
And this is where the tracking gets really
Oh,
bad.
it's awful.
Oh,
it's almost
so
it's almost
bad.
completely just
It's
fuzzy
like
line.
purple, green,
Green.
Yeah.
all kinds of crazy lines. You can't tell what's happening.
No. Unfortunately, you still hear Morgan's shitty acting through the through it. You just
But
can't
the one
see
thing
it.
that's not affected is the audio.
Yeah, unfortunately. So sit back because he rambles on a lot here. He talks about how his father used to own this land and he was planning to settle here after he retired from the force. But his father never got the chance because he was shot and killed by some punk he pulled over for speeding one night. Morgan rambles on about how his father was a good man who spent his life upholding the law and that the difference between right and wrong is a very thin line. Morgan continues on saying his father once passed over that line about 25 years ago. There were these 10 killings in 2 weeks, and his father knew who it was and called him, but the courts let it go on a technicality, and the killing started all over again. You can see where this is going. A few weeks later, the man disappeared. Morgan says his father never talked about it, but he knew what his father did. At this point, Morgan pulls out a gun from his jacket, tells Rhonda that today he's crossing that line.
It's like the James Bond villain return.
It is.
Revealing the plan, and you know James Bond is gonna fucking escape
Yeah.
and get the upper hand
He,
on whoever.
yeah, he rambles on some more. Rhonda continues to deny that she killed anyone, but Morgan still refuses to let her go. Morgan refuses to let her go on killing. But now, again, for some dumbass fucking reason, Morgan decides to turn his back to Rhonda after he basically said, I'm going to kill you.
He's admiring the scenery.
But let me turn around and take a look at the sunset or something.
It is pretty beautiful.
It
It's
is
like,
beautiful.
It's not a nice
I
setting.
mean,
It's nice land.
I mean, if I'm going to get shot and killed in the middle of the woods, that's where I'd want to get shot and killed
It's
in the middle
not
of
a
the
bad
woods.
place to get shot and killed and
I
buried
guess not.
mysteriously.
So Rhonda grabs a shovel, bashes him over the head with it right as he turns around to kill her. And that's the last we see of Morgan. We cut to Rhonda's workout, another aerobic scene. Rhonda enters to cheers from all the girls in the class who think she's the big hero.
They'll come running over.
Yay! You did it! Because everyone thinks that she killed Jimmy, who was all the murder pinned on
He
him. So
was the
she
murderer,
killed
yeah.
him in self-defense.
They
saving-
basically pinned all the murders on Jimmy.
Yes. And she,
With a baby pin. With a safety pin.
literally
With
pinned him
a
on him.
giant safety pin.
Yeah.
whatever. He'd have killed him with his bare hands.
Fucking bite
I
him
mean,
or
no
something.
damn big safety pin.
Fucking double axe handles everywhere.
fucking Patrick Swayze Roadhouse people. Rip that neck
Rip their
out.
throat out.
Oh, R.I.P.
So Sharon's getting cheers. She goes into her office where some other blonde woman, who I guess is her publicist,
Her new
or her,
assistant.
Oh, yeah,
her
it's her
ad,
new
who does like the
assistant, yeah.
ads for the gym, is in there. She's running this new idea past Rhonda, and Rhonda's like, "Yes, you gotta send it to newspapers."
We got a new 2-for-1 deal. Rhonda, what do you think? Go
Before,
ahead.
before the
Go
woman
to the
leaves,
princes.
she turns around and says, "By midweek, because of this ad, by midweek, this place would be packed to the walls with gorgeous bodies." And she leaves. Rhonda, says, "I'm counting on it." And she sits back in her desk, pulls out the giant safety pin from her desk, which she's using as a keychain.
Right.
She looks in the camera,
Because it's
gives
as
a
big
little,
as a keychain.
it's massive.
Gives a bizarro smile.
Yeah.
A little laugh and weird giggle. Yeah, roll credits. And the credits are also filled with more aerobics.
More montage.
More aerobics filled with some more awesome music. Which, oh my God, you're gonna listen to this before we go on to the rest, because this may be one of the best ones of all of them. So enjoy this.
Hey baby, you sure look sexy. Standing there watching me. I can see
All right.
You play that whole song.
I know. Yeah, I play those. I know that's long,
Why
but
did you
it's
play that whole
it's
song?
worth it.
It's so worth it.
Because the second verse is the verse, the one with the apple. It's worth it.
So juicy.
so hungry.
So sweet.
It's insane. I love the music. Just fucking nuts in this movie.
It's
but,
so long.
but it's so crazy. And you can fast forward if you don't want to listen to it. You can fast forward.
It's too late now.
Well,
Sorry,
when
guys.
they listen to it,
But
they
you're
can
welcome.
fast forward
Sorry,
if they
but
want.
you're welcome.
But yeah, so that song, and there's another song.
It's sorry, but you're welcome. Fuck sorry, not sorry. Sorry, but you're welcome.
Yeah. I mean,
That song is played throughout the credits in its entirety, along with another song called "Woman on Fire." That one I'm not gonna play because I think Aaron will lose his goddamn mind if I do. So, with
But
that,
during the opening part, it's all again more montage and
Yeah.
weird aerobic.
yeah, the
shit.
credits are a montage
Yeah.
too. The credits are a montage. So let's move on to favorite kill.
There can be only one. Favorite kill.
All right, favorite kill for fucking killer workout. All right, Sarah, ladies first. What do you got this week?
okay, so normally I have some like big thing. I have no idea. I don't.
Well, the
The
kills were
kills-
so weak.
They were
Yeah.
super weak. Like we couldn't really. You didn't really ever see a kill. You saw like maybe the suspenseful raise of the safety pin,
Yeah, the
and
safety
then the
pin.
aftermath. So okay, so I'm gonna say Curtis in the alley because at least we got to see a knife. He got whacked a few times. Whack, whack, whack.
Yeah,
And
it looked like
then-
a proper kill.
It looked at least like a kill. We still didn't really see the whole thing happen.
Right.
We kind of saw the aftermath of it.
You did like the Iron Claw, though.
But I did like the Iron Claw a whole lot. Like that.
Renders people helpless. The
It does.
Iron Claw.
I think that's going to have to be it. Because,
So that would be Rhonda dishing out the Iron Claw?
No, I think it was Jimmy, though.
No,
Wasn't it? Because
the
Jimmy
whole
had
time
the
they-
knife?
Yeah, but the whole time they're making it like Rhonda was the killer. So that would have been Rhonda was the one doing the Iron Claw. Rhonda was the one jumping fucking headfirst to a window.
The
and
one who was
running away.
clearly a man.
Like, clearly a man. Yeah, so, yeah.
I guess that's it. I
Yeah.
don't know. It was so anticlimactic.
I agree with you on that. Aaron, what do you got?
Well, I guess I'm going to have to go with... I kind of liked... There were a couple kills I liked just because they were... like, I don't know his name. He was one of the guys who worked out, who got the
dumbbell to the head?
The dumbbell to the head was good, but the guy who got the singular safety pin
Oh, the one who found the
stab,
dumbbell guy. Yeah, I don't know his name
He
either.
found him. He had a mustache.
Yeah, he did have the mustache.
He did have a sweet 80s mustache.
Yeah, he had like the
I
Tom
did
Selleck
like,
going.
he's the one who got the singular just
Yeah,
right
the
to
one
the head.
right to the head.
But I'm going to go, and I don't know if you're going to count it or not. It's an unofficial kill. But it was still my favorite because it was the most fun for me, was the dream sequence between Tommy and Miss San Bernardino.
No, I can't count that as a kill.
Oh, come on.
No. We're doing Chris Samples rules. He gave me shit for saying I like the sleeping bag kill in
that's
Jason
fair.
X, and that was a simulation.
That's
that didn't
true.
count. So dream kills don't count.
But that would have been my favorite kill, I guess. So I
That
guess,
was a good kill. I mean,
because it was the weirdest.
Yeah, it's
If it
definitely
was a
weirdest.
kill.
A guy
Yeah.
getting hummed and then killing the girl at the same time. That would have
By
been
himself.
my favorite. But if we're gonna go anything, I guess I would go with the singular weird beak
To the mustache guy.
to the mustache
guy.
guy. The one singular blow from a safety needle or safety pin. That's my favorite.
I'm gonna make this
If
quick.
I can't
That was-
have my true favorite, that's my favorite.
that was skilled, I guess. I don't
They all suck. I'm going with. Probably wanted to go with Chucky double axe handle because
That
it's
was-
just so
that was-
fucking
Oh,
stupid.
that
considering
was
that
pretty
one.
good.
But I agree. I'm going with Sarah and Curtis. This is because the fucking Iron Claw and the stab. It's the only one that looked felt any kind of like actual.
Like that could happen.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like you would see another horror movie or something like that because the other ones were so weak and lame.
Ridiculous.
super lame.
So yeah, I'm going with Curtis too. So let's move on to the odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
All right. Ratings. IMDb gives it a 4.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, there is no thermometer score, but it has a 38% audience score.
Pretty solid.
Pretty solid. Well, not really. It's under 50, but for us, it's kind of average. We kind of see that roll in that 30 percentile on audience scores. And in Amazon, 3.5 out of 5.
So the 30% people who actually like that, that's our audience. That was the people we want listening.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, you 30% of people who like this really obscure movie.
Right? We like you.
Plot keywords. There were 102 plot keywords.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, 102.
Wow.
I wrote down some of the weirder ones.
Can we guess some?
You can try. But,
Spandex.
I don't think I wrote that down, but I'm sure that was one. Yeah.
Safety pin. Pin?
Not that I wrote down, but I'm sure they were.
Steroids.
Yeah. No, it should have been. Should have been the first one.
All right.
No, I wrote down naked murderer, which was a first for us.
Yes.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
Camera focused on female butt.
That's not a word.
I know, that's a whole sentence.
That's a sentence.
That's a whole phrase.
I say that all the time, but I stand by it.
Nude with a gun.
True.
Bicep.
Okay.
Yeah, there was
Short-
some bad
There were a
form.
lot of dudes flexing.
Short shorts.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Touching someone's breast.
Yeah.
Cleavage.
Lots of cleavage.
Lots of cleavage.
And bouncing breast.
Oh, there were so many bouncing breasts. Oh, my God.
Blue spandex gal.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh,
Not even
Jesus.
spandex. It wasn't even spandex. It was spandex. If I would have bounced, just like
No,
it's kind of
it
like a
was
loose,
just-
cut up sweater.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, those titties were just.
I know. Oh, and
Flopping
you know
everywhere.
she was front row center too, right?
Yeah.
She's in the front
Oh,
row. That's
yeah.
like, gotta show her
Like
off.
it wasn't even sexy. It was just like comical. I'm like, oh,
it's
look
really
at
hard to exercise when you have no support. I just
But
have to say.
I couldn't believe how ridiculous it was because they were pretty big, but they're just flopping up to her face and then down to her belly button and up to her face and down to her
Again,
belly
they were
button.
trying to distract us from the mediocre bullshit
mediocrity
that
of
was
this
this
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, with the.
Let's
of
see.
It
support.
worked.
Trivia.
It was awesome.
Trivia. There's not a whole lot of trivia for this movie. Covered before. The original title was Aerobicide.
Yeah.
Fritz Matthews, who played Jimmy, he built the tanning bed in the
Jimmy,
beginning
not
of the
Tommy.
film.
Oh, a great
Of course,
job.
he had to make it gigantic and weird.
The bigger, the better. To make up for my small penis.
This is the best, most industrious tanning bed ever.
It's gonna explode.
We were ragging on special effects and stuff, but Fritz Matthews and Ted Pryor, Chuck, so Chuck and Jimmy are both credited for special effects and set design on this
So
movie.
the mortal enemies in this movie
Yeah.
were the guys who did the special effects.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they spend their time in the gym and in the special effects
Room.
Hey, bro, after we
bro.
get done getting a pump, let's get
You wanna go work on that pyro?
let's go work on those special effects. You can tell which one they paid more attention to.
Yeah.
Was way more attention to the gym.
The director, David Pryor, found it very hard working with his director of photography because, according to Pryor, he had no respect at all for me and fought me on all the way on every single thing we shot. Maybe you should have listened to that photographer.
Yeah, maybe.
He may have been onto something.
He turned into Rodney Dangerfield. No respect. Yeah, no respect for any shot I had. I told you.
And this is my own personal trivia because I had to do this. Aaron, this doesn't surprise you at all, but we commented constantly how much aerobic montages there are in this scene,
my
in this
God.
movie. There are a combined 9 minutes and 30-something seconds worth of aerobic scenes in this movie. I timed each and every aerobic
God.
scene.
Nearly 10 minutes.
Nearly 10 minutes of this movie is nothing but aerobics.
This movie is so long.
That's almost like that's nearly like an entire workout, like a 20-minute workout. You could do, of this
So
movie.
you could watch it's 10 minutes basically.
Yeah, basically 10 minutes.
Just watch those 10 minutes over and over again. Follow what they're doing. Get a good workout.
and get a workout in.
Yeah.
Exactly. You could make a supercut this into a workout video.
Wow.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge
I really
accepted.
want you guys to be humping the floor. Like, if I can get you to do that one move where you're like in the weird
Like this
squat
weird
on the floor.
squat and then hump.
Yeah.
Hump.
So sexual. Now, I'm so unhappy. I'm really sad this week that we don't get a budget game for this one. I was really wanting one for this game, but sadly we don't. But so we do. That means we're just gonna go straight into 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
So 5-star reviews.
No budget.
No budget. I really wanted one. There are 28 total reviews on Amazon. 39% of them are 5-star reviews. Only 14% are 1-star. So
Sweet.
from Amazon customer. So my friend told me about a movie she had watched when she was a teenager. It sounded amazing, but she was unsure of the name. Fast forward many years, and we discovered it was called Killer Workout or Aerobicide. I'd seen clips on YouTube, but really wanted to see the whole glorious garbage dump that I knew this would be. Someone eventually reached into my dream catcher and made that a reality. And on Blu-ray even. I mean,
It's on Blu-ray?
and not that it really matters since the quality would be horrendous no matter how fancy technology it was transferred onto.
Oh, the sound was
Anyway, I bought it, and with the help of Amazon Prime, it arrived in 2 days. I made my friend come over and surprised her with the viewing. Dear God, this movie has it all. Jazzercise, leotards, ridiculous dialogue, a pretty predictable plot, mullets, and murder!
Oh.
Seriously though, watch this movie. The only thing that disappoints me is that they never released a soundtrack to this garbage gem. 5 stars.
Right?
Well, I do agree with you there. I do agree with you there.
From B-Movie Man, let's get real. You know this movie is cheesy. If you expect a top-notch storytelling and eye-blasting cinematography and rich production values, there's something wrong with you. Killer Workout has a few objectives.
Okay.
Show women working out in tight spandex,
Yeah.
murder people every 10 minutes or so, deliver obvious red herrings, and throw in the nudity we all love and appreciate.
Yeah.
And the wild 80s music, man, how can you not love it? And Ted Pryor's character is hilarious. The kills aren't super gruesome. The killer's identity is easy to figure out. Killer Workout is cheap jack as heck. Yeah, and so what? Killer Workout is more of a fun ride rather than a movie you should critique on normal standards. 80s slashers should be excited. This is bad trash cinema at its best. 80s-tastic. Not very much appreciated as a retro horror movie. 5 stars.
Who is that again?
Fantastic.
B-Movie Man.
B-Movie Man.
And last one from Rihanna Solares. This was better than I expected. 5 stars.
5 stars.
Thank you. At least it was short.
I had to beat my expectations,
At
so
least it was
5
short.
stars. Now, unfortunately, the 1-star reviews I wanted, they weren't very...
Descriptive.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
very similar. They're very bad, shitty.
Sucked.
Or they were complaining about,
Delivery was so long.
or they were complaining about how bootleg copies that are apparently going around on the internet for a few years before the official
You can't blame the movie
Yeah.
for that.
So yeah, they weren't worth it. They were just stupid. And most of the other 5-star reviews were kind of similar, or they were praising, oh, it came great, 2 days, fast shipping, blah blah, that stuff. So those were the best. But I think you got some pretty juicy. Those are some good reviews. With that, that brings us to our final thought and closing remarks here. As always, Sarah, we let you ladies first. What is your final thoughts on Killer Workout?
You guys are such gentlemen, I swear. Okay, so B-Movie Man, I have to agree with a lot of the things you said. You included a lot of things that were in this movie that were factual. But it comes back for me to the murders. They were underwhelming. Like every single one. There was not again, if you're going to stab somebody with a safety pin, can I at least see a little bit of it? Or can I see a little bit of variety in the kill? The first time I watched it, I would say maybe the first 20 minutes were really exciting. And I was like, this is the best movie. Oh my God. But then they just kept going back to the aerobics. And then it turned into, like I said, an episode of Hunter, which I could have watched on Cozy TV. I mean, but I didn't. But I watched this. I have to say, again, we watched Death Spa. I hate to compare it to anything else
You
and
really
let it
can't
be
compare it to Death Spa.
right, because that's just a totally different thing. But if the murders and the kills would have been a little bit more exciting, I would have changed my mind. It was super fun to talk about.
Yeah.
It was awesome to talk about with you guys, but so bad it's scary.
Scary for Sarah. Okay. Aaron.
Sorry, Aerobicide.
So, Aerobicide Killer Workout had a great accumulation of everything 80s that we love. It had the spandex, it had crazy. It's like the first time people learned they could kick in in a fight scene.
Kung
you know,
fu.
so lots of kicks, giant, ridiculously muscular men, women thrusting hips, spandex, and then kills. Lots and lots of kills. Granted, the weakest kill weapon ever. However, unique.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone killed with an oversized baby pin.
Because nobody can be killed with an oversized safety pin.
I have to agree with you on that.
You've never seen it because it can't be done. Nobody cares that you even try.
The movie was so ridiculous. And I'm like, I don't know. It's so ridiculous. I don't know if I can. It does turn into an episode of Hunter, but then the thing that pushed it over the edge for me is the music. The music is fantastic, and it's unique to this actual movie, and it's so good. It gets stuck in your head. I'm gonna have to say, so bad it's good.
So bad it's good for
So
me.
bad it's good.
I knew it.
I don't know if I can watch it again.
I wouldn't judge you, right?
But man, was a fun ride. I was not bored. I'll tell you what. I was never bored. Yeah, I heard you fell asleep a few times. When I turned it on, I was drinking Jameson till the end. I'm just like,
I
this
should
is
have
great.
done that. I should have done that.
Probably help. So we're split so far. That's that's cool. I like that. But yeah, let's make one thing clear real quick. We cannot compare this to Death Spot. Death Spot is its own unique, crazy
Supernatural and
entity of
That's
it.
all kinds of crazy.
In a way, it's even crazier this movie because of the shit that goes
it's
on.
so much crazier
but
than
it's,
this movie.
Yeah, we're not gonna compare the two.
No.
But
I just like it more.
First time I saw it, I was like, whatever. This movie sucks. But the more I started watching it and getting it's like Aaron said, getting into the music and the fucking kung fu scenes out of nowhere
yeah, those are-
for fucking muscle bound steroid gym rats doing kung fu. Like, yeah, the kills suck, the safety pin sucks, but the aerobics are crazy. I'm just gonna long story short, man. So bad it's good. This movie has to be watched at least once to fully appreciate its insanity on every level. It's so out there that, like, Jesus Christ, like, I loved it. I loved the music. Like I said, I want the soundtrack. I would listen to this, like, because it's just fucking crazy fun. It's so dumb, but
I just wouldn't call it horror. That's like my only thing. Like, I feel like when I think of horror, I think of like definitely rated R. There was not a lot of this movie.
well, it's definitely would have been rated R. Kills,
Not in
blood,
the-
and tits, but
Well, not in the 80s. I don't know. In the really?
well,
The
no,
titties,
there are
the
some
titties.
PG-13 movies that had like some that was not, but it
I don't
was
know.
considered R
I
today.
felt like it
Tasteful
borderline
boobs.
that.
or PG because that was before PG-13. even
Right. I felt
existed.
like it kind of like borderline
It's
that.
a
I
soft
don't know.
R, except for
I mean,
the nudity.
I would say
what
soft
you're
R, but
saying.
they drop
If it
a lot
wasn't
of
for the nudity,
F-bombs.
if it wasn't
And
for
they
the
say-
nudity, yeah.
Did
say
they drop the
fuck-
F-bombs? I
Yeah,
can't remember.
They say fuck a lot.
Honestly, I don't remember if they.
I don't
They
remember
might have said it
them
once or
cussing.
twice.
Dude,
They
like,
were cussing, but yeah.
right when Jimmy pulls up and runs in a truck, you're like, fuck you.
I don't know, but I don't know. It's definitely an R movie. I mean, it's R, but it's a very soft
Yeah.
R.
It is a soft R, but it's
especially by
R.
today's standards.
But man, is it so crazy.
Yeah, it's worth watching at least once.
It's
just
so
insane.
worth watching once. Absolutely.
Once, be done
All
with it,
right.
say you've seen
All
it,
right.
and move on from it forever. But man, yeah, watch it at least one time.
You'll be doing yourself a disservice if you don't watch this movie at least once. Have some friends over, have some drinks, maybe drink some Jameson.
Maybe Jameson is the
Maybe-
key.
maybe that's the key.
Maybe
Who
that's
knows?
the key to it.
But yeah, it's a fun movie.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's going to wrap us up for this week. We'll be back later with another movie. In the meantime, guys, remember to always watch more horror movies. And remember to always keep it tight. And we're going to let you go tonight with a little bit of rock and rock to close out the show.
Rock and rock!
Rock and rock.